Good. I was going to do it as long as that screen was black. Good morning, everyone. Tuesday morning. I'm your humble host, Stephen McCollum, and the screen switches around there on us. You know him as 17-year NFL veteran, 3-time Super Bowl champion for your Dallas Cowboys. And folks, you better behave because he could be gone in the middle of a show if he's not careful. Dale Hellestrae, everybody.
So why do they have to be careful, Steve? I mean, I'm the one who could be fired.
That's what I'm saying. No, I'm saying you have to be careful.
Oh.
Yeah, I could pull a Ryan Clark today.
Yeah.
Just go to commercial break, and then Dale's not here when he comes back.
Yeah, you said Steve is ugly or something, and you're gone.
I'd agree with you on that.
Yeah. No, it was interesting yesterday that happened. Brought back some memories to me of football players getting cut in the thick of things and all that.
Well, you told about the one of the plane where you're going overseas, and they pulled him off the plane.
Yeah.
And that. But nobody, because you have to be on the roster like Saturday, right? So it's not like they're wrapping up for the game. And they're all ready to go.
I think it's actually like 2 hours before the game.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Back then?
Yeah.
It's not that way anymore. Yeah. But you could still be cut after that, but you know if you're playing or not, I think, on Saturdays now, right?
Right.
So it can't be that late. But back then it was that late? You're all wrapping up. You're in fight mode.
It might have been 3. All I know is this.
You're out there stretching.
So we're playing in Cincinnati. You have to play 3 games into your 4th year to qualify
for pensions and stuff. Okay, which the teams pay for.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And we're playing our 3rd game. I didn't realize that this was a thing because I was on my 2nd year.
So this is Buffalo.
Yes.
Yeah, that owner. What was that? Ralph Wilson back then.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
And we're fly to Cincinnati, spend the night, get up in the morning, have breakfast, go get on the bus, and they take 2 guys off.
Oof.
And they caught them.
Oof.
And I'm like, hold on, why are they doing that? And some of the veterans explained it to me, and I'm like, did they not know this yesterday before we left Buffalo?
That's my argument. Why do that? And then how are you replacing them? Because if they're on the trip, they're playing in the game, right?
Well,
they're shooting up at least.
Yeah, but you started, you have the practice squad guys and things like that too, who you can elevate and.
Oh, that's true. That's true. You're like, why do we have so many practice guy squads on this flight?
Yeah.
Oh,
and hey, there's 3 offensive linemen.
Exactly. Oh, now that makes sense.
And a snapper.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, say what you want about it. I'm not a Ryan Clark fan. I never have been. It's just he, we watch that stuff I watch that stuff at least for sports news and conversations and stuff. When you bring the outside elements into it, I don't like it. So I don't like him. At least his side on that. I'm sure he's a super nice guy, but whatever. But I have to say that. But I just don't like him. I just didn't like him in that entity. So I'm not celebrating that he got let go. I'm just glad it happened. So we don't have to see that nonsense side. I know you got a beef with him on Twitter and his buddies, a month or so ago about, wasn't that him? With the, we don't need to talk about that. But he gets into other things besides sports.
Yes, he does.
Like RG3 can't comment about black issues because he married a white woman. Like that stuff just, I'm not here for that. If I want that stuff to talk about, I'll watch a different channel. So I'm not going to say I'm celebrating his demise, but you have to be, we talked about this with Phil Mickelson, you have to be a despised figure in human being where they pull you off in the middle of a show to let you go.
Well, the other thing that was interesting about yesterday, because I saw that on Twitter too, he threw at that other guy, Peter Schrager.
Oh, that was earlier this year. Yeah,
but it happened yesterday.
Oh, did it happen again?
In the first half of the show, he threw out.
You're talking about on that, yes.
That's the non-player take.
Yeah.
Then they went to break. I wasn't watching it.
I watched that clip. I didn't watch it live because I don't watch any of that. But I watched that live. I was dissecting that. And Adam Schefter, Mia Kimes, he's talking. Right for the break, he's talking. And they're just nodding their heads.
Yeah.
It's almost like you can tell, like they were told that he's not going to be there when they come back, so they were just like nodding their head, trying to make him feel good before
Right.
he gets removed.
Right.
But you have to be like we talked about this Phil Mickelson, middle of a round, his private club went, we don't want you here anymore, and they remove you from the premises. You have to be an unlikable. They want you gone at that point because otherwise they treat you like a human and wait for the show to finish, or if they pulled you off, they'd pull you off and then not announce it instantly.
Well, the other thing I read somewhere last week when I was doing my reading out on the deck.
Wait, making sure camera. You go out on that deck with those cameras up there in Sedona.
Make sure you're with your wife. And but I was reading where that Mickelson thing. A lot of people say it's his wife who called up there and had him removed.
Well, we haven't talked about that level of it. I'm going to tell you, same thing with the Mina Kimes Vrabel situation. You can't tell me it's not an insider.
Diana Rossini.
Oh, Rossini, what I said.
Don't.
Oh, Mina Kimes, is that what I said?
No. You got a crush on
her? No, I can't stand Mina Kimes. Her football knowledge is good.
Second to none.
I don't know if I go second to none, but it's good. But I can't stand watching it. Again, they bring too much. They bring too much non-football stuff into the conversation. I hate watching NFL stuff and getting breakdowns and everything, and then you bring something happening in the real world into it. It drives me batty. And I hate it. Whether I agree with them or not, I don't. But even if I agree with them or not, I can't stand when you do that. But yeah, diverse. There's always an insider. That just doesn't happen. Somebody hired somebody in that Vrabel situation to long lens that situation and see what they could find. Same thing here with Mickelson. Exactly. There's somebody on the inside who's like, he's up to something. You got to figure this out.
Well,
same thing with Ryan Clark here with this.
As you look through, obviously, some of the stuff about the Ryan Clark situation, one of the things interesting, obviously, you know more of the cuts than I do, but ESPN making big cuts. Supposedly today, Ryan Clark gets
some people, the bigger names know ahead of time because of agency stuff, and they have to work out deals with the lawyers. So we've seen some names leak.
He was supposed to go through yesterday, and then he's going to be informed today. Well, there was a leak.
Yeah, somebody leaked it
yesterday, and so they didn't want him to be on the second half of the show because you never know what guys.
It leaked while he was on air, and especially a guy like him. He could lose his mind a little bit and say things that he shouldn't say. But I mean, the news is out today. Karl Ravech is on the chopping block, which he does everything for them. He's Mr. Everything, right? Every time you turn around, Karl Ravech, whether you like him or not, for what the personality they do. Longtime guy there. He's been their play-by-play voice on Major League Baseball coverage, Baseball Tonight.
Right.
He's college hoops. Obviously did Sports Center for a bunch of years, but he joined the network in '93. He just called the Phillies-Dodgers game. I was listening to him on Monday night. Yeah, I listened to him on the radio broadcast of the Home Run Derby last week. When I was driving around in the rain, trying to get out of that storm. I was listening to the Home Run Derby on the radio, Dale. That's what sickness I have. I went to pick up a pizza and got caught in a monsoon storm when I was driving 5 miles an hour, so I missed the beginning part. I listened to him there. He's on the chopping block today as well. But then some big heavyweights as well. I mean, some anchors out there, that are on the block as well. Those are the big names, though. Ryan Clark, but Tom Pelissero, which this one makes sense. Somebody had to lose out because with the NFL Network or the ESPN and then the NFL Network coming into the ESPN brand, well, they obviously are going to keep being Rappaport and Adam Schefter. You don't need a whole bunch of them. And Pelissero made some good money for ESPN being that insider. He's on that chopping block too. That's a big name for the football side of it as well. So he's reportedly on the outs. But a lot of front name guys and back world, I'm not worried about the on-air talent. They're fine. If they've done a good enough job with their money, they're good. I'm not. It's like when a head coach gets fired. Yeah, I don't care. He's compensated. Right. He's fine. It's the assistant coaches. It's the behind the scenes people that are getting laid off today. that you got to kind of look at as well and pay attention to those guys moving forward. But yeah, big names, Dale.
Right.
But I'm just saying, you have to be a special level of hated if you're pulled off in the middle of a show.
Or not trusted. Because
we're saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Because if they can't trust you on air, then you're hated. You're hated
Right.
there, and stuff like that. Yeah. So, as they said, he was taken off NFL Live and told of his dismissal because ESPN felt it was better for him to hear directly from an executive rather than reading it online. Yeah, you think? You think on that? I mean, in my opinion, Ryan Clark couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. He's one guy I'm not gonna feel bad bad from that side.
No.
But it is interesting on the layoffs, though. I mean, you would think it would touch, and this is Disney leading this too, by the way, folks. Disney's in charge of this. They're looking at ESPN's numbers going, you guys are paying too many people too much money, which is a problem when you go, they've laid off Jalen Rose in the last 3 years. But anytime, like, it's just, pro football player retires, then it's instantly, we got to throw $30 million at him.
No.
That's not sustainable. So you got to kind of pull it back a little bit, I guess. We'll see. But they're getting rid of, like, Carl Ravitch, man. He's like, they're everything.
Right.
That's what's shocker to me.
A completely different reaction from me for a Ravitch kind of guy. Who's the lady who's been around forever? She also retired. The redhead.
I know who you're talking about. And,
Linda Cohn.
Linda Cohn, yep. He just retired.
Yes. And I'm sure that was more of a suggestion.
Yeah, it was layoffs are coming. You're kind of older.
Yeah.
Why
don't you do it with some pomp and circumstance?
Yeah. Well, you don't know. It's contract's up, and it's just we're not going to renew you. So you go, I'm retiring. Yeah, no, that stuff happens all the time. Yeah, well, you know that. Not you specifically, but you know how Dale Johnson, right? He, been calling games for a while and kind of being out. Danny White kind of quietly retired from the radio broadcast and Cowboys stuff as he's gotten older. What was that, 2 years ago? And it was just more of a, you've done a good job, and you're a little older now. Let's celebrate your retirement.
We need
when it's really a push out the door. Do it with grace. And stuff like that. So, that's interesting. I don't know. It's just interesting to me, but pay attention. Layoffs are one thing. Pay attention how they happen. Because if he's on an NFL Live, right, he shouldn't be online. He shouldn't be on his phone. So he could have finished that show, and then somebody been standing there going, hey, go in this room and talk.
Right.
So, but that's what it tells me. He's not trusted. I say hated, but I say not trusted. But I just don't respect, especially ex-players that look down on people like that. I'm smarter than you because I played. Well, yes, Dale, that's why I love having you on there. You bring a different perspective than I have as the common fan sitting on my couch with Dorito drizzle down the front of me while I'm watching a game. You bring that different perspective, but when you look down on people for not having that perspective and stuff, it just bothers the crap out of me.
And he's always kind of had that about him, that haughtiness or however you want to put it, whatever adjective.
Just on the sports stakes. And then, like I said, there's just nothing more annoying. Oh, look at this film. Look at this chapter. Look at this 11 here and blah, blah, blah. And then you bring in some external political hot potato and you bring it into that. And it's like, that's not why I'm watching you, Tiger.
Right.
If I want to watch you talk about that, like Stephen A., I'll at least give him credit. He does his politics stuff separate from his sports stuff.
Podcast, yeah.
Yeah. So he doesn't bring it into where I have to watch him, which I don't watch him anyway. But if I watch this sports show, at least that I know of, he doesn't bring that stuff into it.
Right.
If I want to listen to that, I could tune into a different media format. That's the way it should be, I think, out there. So I don't know. I'm not, Dale, I don't want to say I'm giddy about this.
Ooh.
But I'm
giddy.
Excited to finally be able to watch something without being drawn in with the other nonsense that I don't care about when I'm watching football stuff.
It's so hard for me to watch those shows because they're talking about Ryan Clark saying that Tom Brady was not a
I know,
generational quarterback.
yeah.
It's like
He believes that stuff too. He's not a hot like Stephen A. Smith doesn't believe half of what he says. He just says it because he knows it's going to stir people up and he's going to get eyeballs, which means more money for him.
right.
Well, I don't do that as a broadcaster. If I say something, I'm either jokingly saying it, kind of having fun with it, or I believe it. But he says it just because he's like, ratings are down 1%. Watch me be stupid. Ryan Clark believes that Tom Brady's not a generational talent. Because we've all seen a ton of Tom Brady's out there, folks.
Yeah.
Every year you go, oh, another Tom Brady-like character.
Right.
He even called Drew Brees not one.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And he put some quarterback in there. Maybe it was Lamar Jackson, called him a generational. And I'm like,
it's fascinating to me because I did see the little interchange and Schrager said, well, what is your definition of a generational quarterback if Tom Brady's not on that list?
yeah. Yeah, no, that is the point. And that's where Stephen A. was like, the question is, because they were talking about, well, that's the other part. They're asking if Arch Manning's a generational talent, a quarterback. That's what they were asking. And then he goes and he attacks all these other quarterbacks. But the other side of it is with him, there was another ulterior motive behind that as well, though. And that's why I don't like about the way he talks on his sports stuff. But he was naming specific quarterbacks for a reason, folks. And I don't like that aspect. I'm not watching your sports program for that. So leave that to the side. Talk about that later in some other format where I don't have to see it out there. So ESPN, like I said, the hosts and stuff, like Carl Ravitch, 61 years old, possibly could find another he's one of the best play-by-play guys out there, in my opinion. And he's very versatile. So I'm not going to, it sucks, but I'm not going to feel sorry for him because he's made a lot of money at ESPN. Hopefully he's taking care of it, so he's fine and stuff like I said, it's the on-air producers who make good money at ESPN.
Right.
But they're not making those millions of dollars of on-air and stuff like that. Those are the people you have to, you feel for today when these types of things happen out there and stuff like that, Dale. So, Dale, mind your P's and Q's.
I will do that, Steve.
I will wait. I promise you I will wait till after the show if you behave. But I'm not afraid to do it in the middle. Just saying right now. Goes for everybody in the building out there. So, Dale, other than that, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. Just trying to get back into the schedule things.
That's the problem,
and
right?
all that good stuff.
How tired were you yesterday when you got home?
I took a little 30-minute nap, not a Steve McCollum.
Did you set your alarm?
I didn't.
And he's only 30 minutes.
So tired. If I can keep it to 30 minutes, I feel refreshed.
Yeah, that's the problem. I go like the 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then I'm like groggy for an hour afterwards. Like I'm stumbling through my room trying to wake
Hold
up.
on, is it Monday or is it Wednesday?
It's like I wake up and I realize I'm afraid I missed the bus and I'm late for school. And I realize I'm 49 and it's Saturday. Yeah, I thought about you yesterday. I was like, oh, I wonder how he's feeling today after everything, getting back into it and stuff. Because I even struggle on Monday. It's funny because I struggle on Mondays, just taking these Fridays off, which we're not taking it off, but it's different being on air and not being on air.
Right.
And I feel weird on Mondays. Like I feel kind of like, oh, man. Ugh. So don't forget, last week here, Monday through Thursday, Dale. Next week we go back to 5 days a week because football's here, baby.
Football is here. Boy, the Cardinals get started this week. Can't wait for all the exciting news coming out of Glendale.
Jacoby Brissett watch. I guarantee there's 3 storylines you're going to see this training camp pertaining to football. You're going to see Jeremiah Love. You're going to see a lot of people talking about how he moves on a football field, meaning every practice he's going to do some amazing cut in non-pads. And everybody's going to go, oh, my God, which it's spectacular. Don't get me wrong. But people are going to give you the insinuation that, and then whoever the quarterback is in there, you're going to see a lot of hype about him. So whether Jacoby Brissett's there at the beginning or not, whether it's Gardner Minshew, it's going to be a lot of, oh, my God, he completed a 50-yard pass down the field, which brings me to my next point. You're going to hear all about how Marvin Harrison, he's in better shape than he was
Oh.
last year. Oh, my God, the ball just melts into his hands out there. He had a contested catch. Oh, my God, he was wanting right open. He blew the defender away. Oh, my God, that ball, he went up and stabbed it out of the air. That's all you're going to hear all training camp, folks. Those three things.
Bigger, faster, stronger.
Those three things. He just goes up and he gets that ball at the point. Oh, the defender had nothing to do with it. Couldn't even contend with him. You're going to hear that all training camp long. Take a deep breath, folks. None of it's real. So brace yourself, folks. The Marvin Harrison one is one I'm going to find the most annoying this year.
Because we did hear it last year, I believe.
We heard it his first year. He was, oh, my God, the ball just melts. That's why I use that term.
Yeah.
People were saying, the ball just melts into his hands as he's running down the field. Nope. Week 1 comes and you throw him a football, then we'll decide how he's going to play. Then we'll decide how the ball melts into his hands. I don't care what he does in preseason. But those are the 3 narratives you're going to hear from every camp, from everybody out there. And you're going to see videos. Oh, watch Marvin Harrison catch this thing. Oh, my God, it's his comeback year. He's finally figured it out, Dale. And I'm not going to say he hasn't. I'm saying, let's see what the regular season brings us. So that's starting this week. And then, of course, Jacoby Watch.
Well, the whole thing is you sit here and you wait all offseason for the start of training camp. I mean, you kind of get excited as a fan for a day or two.
Yeah,
and then it's like, oh, training camp is so long. Can't wait for the start of the regular season when things start to count.
The only thing I pay attention to at the beginning of training camp is because, again, you'd rather somebody look really good in training camp than look terrible.
Yes.
So you pay attention. If those things are good to hear about Marvin Harrison or Jeremiah Love is, oh, my God, he made this cut. He made Walter Nolan look stupid out there. He caught this ball and just made this move. And, that's the stuff you want to hear in training camp because the alternative is, he's dropped his 7th pass today. Don't run in his hands. He's running the wrong routes. You don't want to hear that in training camp.
Did you say Walter Nolan?
Oh, I'm just throwing out a
name. I hope we can get open against Walter Nolan.
No, I'm just talking about he catches a flare pass and Walter Nolan's out there on the edge is what I'm getting at. I was just throwing a name out there. So you want to hear that positive stuff because the alternative, it's like summer league in basketball. You should have some success in training. Like Marvin Harrison Jr. should be catching footballs against defenders that aren't playing NFL defender against them in a practice. They're taking it a little bit easy.
You have to, those young guys have to play summer league. You might as well go out there and dominate. You do what the Suns trio did. Yep. And they said, you know what? You've proved everything. We're going to rest.
You're going to miss your last game because we don't need you out there proving yourself and stuff like that. So you want to hear that positive stuff.
Right.
But then on the other side of it, until Jacoby Brissett's in there, if he's going to be the starter, until he's in there, I just don't care what any quarterback does. Dale, you've been to football practices. I've been to football practices. I've been to Cardinals practices and training camp, and I've watched quarterbacks over the years throw these beautiful spirals 30 yards down the field and nail them into trash cans all throughout the field while they're practice. The accuracy is insane. And then I'd watch Dave Brown not be able to hit an open receiver to save his life in a game.
Boy, you went 30 years back just like that.
That's how I remember it. Just like I remember it. Dude could not find a receiver to save his life. But if you put trash cans out there and you left them unopened, he'd be able to nail them every time, Dale.
Oh, you can come a little bit closer to today's stuff. Some of those quarterbacks Wisenhunt trotted out.
I just like to just pick on Dave Brown a little bit. Hey, I'm keeping his name out there. No, everybody else has long forgotten about the guy. Played for the Giants too. On top of it, and it was just like Cardinals brought him in, I believe, after he was with the Giants, and it was like he wasn't good in New York.
Right?
What are you doing? I mean, I know as you as a Cowboy. You guys probably just game plan galore against him as a quarterback. You guys were like, we got to watch that guy.
Dave Brown.
You're like, did he even play? Wasn't it Dave Brown? It was Dave Brown, right?
I think that's the name of the quarterback.
It was something Brown. Yeah. Tom Tupa.
Oh, jeez.
You even look up Dave Brown and his Giants career pops up, not even the Cardinals. Look at that. He went to Duke, I believe, if I remember. I know way too much about Dave Brown,
Yes,
folks,
you
without
do.
looking him up. I just looked him up here.
Yeah.
But yeah, played for Duke Blue Devils. Look at that. It is sad, my knowledge of Dave Brown. He was, this was like, these were my impressionable years, right, with the Cardinals. That's why I remember him the most.
Well, you know you're bad when you type in Dave Brown. You have Dave Brown Meta, Dave Brown AWS, Dave Brown Amazon, Dave Brown Homes. There's Dave Brown in hockey before you get to Dave Brown NFL.
He's a big private equity guy now, man, from what I'm reading.
Really?
He's done better in his post-football career. I guess I should stop making fun of him. I need to become friends with him. I'm not making fun of him. It's just his NFL career was what it was. But he was just the quarterback in my Boomer Esiason that 1 year he was here. Those years were my impressionable years of the Cardinals, early 90s time frame and stuff when they first got here. That's when I was obviously really paying attention to the Cardinals. That's why I remember them. But I distinctly remember going to those training camps up in Flagstaff. And
he was drafted in the first round, first pick overall, the supplemental draft in 92.
Yeah.
9 years in New York.
He was with the Giants first?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, and then he came here out to the Giants. Yeah. He had a good year that last year in Giants land. Cardinals didn't make a mistake by signing. I mean, there's better quarterbacks to go get, but but like everybody else, by the time they get to Arizona, they're not good. He had a 44 to 58 touchdown interception ratio.
Wow.
That's the other reason I probably knew him was I watched a lot of Giants games, but I was a big New York Giants fan when he was there also. That was early 90s. He came to Cardinals. Yeah, this was my impression with 1998, 2001. Yeah, so I was right there at I had season tickets then? Wow. I didn't know I had season tickets during the Dave Brown years. 96 on since I've been a Cardinal season ticket holder, Dale.
Really? Yeah, 98 he came here.
Gotta throw money away someplace. Some people do drugs. Some people drink a lot. Some people spend it on whores. Not this guy. Give it to the Cardinals.
This would be a good time for a break.
I'm just gonna let this sit here now. Just sit there. Yeah, everybody has bad things they spend money on, Dale. Dale's Diamondbacks had a terrible showing against I told you guys, you look at the Athletics and you go, they're a terrible team. We'll talk more Diamondbacks later on in the show, but they'll bite you. They have talent on that team. They have talent. We got to talk about this. We're going to talk about this when Bruce comes on. I believe he's coming in today. I haven't seen anything from him, so I believe he's coming in. But I have a serious problem, and this is my problem with Torey Lovullo. I'm going to talk about this. What's the date today, Dale? Just out of curiosity.
It is July 21st.
Of the year 2026, correct?
Correct.
When did the season start, out of curiosity? Maybe I'm wrong on my time frame. Let's confirm that. When did the Major League Baseball season start?
Was that like end of April?
Okay. Well, beginning of April, probably. In that time frame. Okay. There's only when's the season end? September, right? So we're well into this season, correct?
Correct.
And we can't figure out the challenging situation late in games? Oh, Dale and his computer again.
Who messed with this thing?
Nobody touched that computer the whole time you were gone. It was up on the desk there. Okay, Major League Baseball season started March 25th. And today is July 21st. And we can't figure out how to challenge things late in games. We're going to talk about this coming up. This is what infuriates me. You don't know what you're doing this late. And then Torey said the phrase that I swear to God last night. I thank God nobody was around me because I would have been fighting him.
I didn't stay around for
I've got it for you, Dale. I've got it for you. He said the phrase, we're going to get better. And wait till you hear this clip, folks. It's coming up later on in the show as well. I just don't get it. I don't get it. It's like it's always an excuse, Dale. No matter what time of year it is. It could be the last game of the year. And they're always going to have an excuse on why they can't figure out late game challenges.
Well, it was interesting because I have not heard the in-depth explanation of challenges like
Tori talks about the Ketel Marte one the other day
Yeah.
as well. Today he brings it up again, but yeah.
But the one batter for the Diamondbacks kind of looked towards the dugout and you have to do it immediately.
Yeah.
You can't look anywhere.
A dugout cannot influence challenges. So the second Tori, we'll talk about that.
Right.
But when you look at the dugout, an umpire will not grant a challenge,
Right.
or you're too late. A bench cannot influence it. So if you look at the dugout first, that one shouldn't have happened, but I can understand how it happened. But I'm talking about if you take the Ketel Marte one on Friday night,
Yes.
where he just whatever. You challenge even if that's straight down the middle, with just the hope you can win that.
Right.
Because literally, if you can win that, you're alive still, instead of losing the game at that point. And they didn't know what to do there. And Marte, I was just confused by the pitch, and so what? Excuse me? And that's and again, people are going to be like, you just hate Ketel Marte. You just hate Ketel Marte. No, that's not the case. But what I hate about Ketel Marte as a superstar, he should know the rules and he should be in the game at all times. And there's a lot of moments where he's just woo-woo land over here when he should be in the moment.
That's truth. I mean, I liked him there for about 8 seconds as that home run was flying out of the ballpark.
Oh, baby. I mean, did that even come down yet?
Yeah, that was a bomb.
That was like a golf swing, too. They knocked that thing out of there. That's how long he had to ramp up on. So we'll talk about, but this is what drives me nuts about Tory-led teams. And it has to do with coaching. And it's where I get frustrated the most is what we're seeing in real time. Okay, Friday night it happened. Barossa gets picked off. You shouldn't have to tell Barossa don't get picked off at first.
You're a pinch runner.
But I can tell you this, in football, I know in basketball, late in games, at the end of timeouts, coaches go, one timeout left, because you don't want a Chris Webber situation happening.
Yeah.
I can almost guarantee you, and I haven't been in NFL huddles late in games, I can almost guarantee you coaches are saying things out there like, just reiterating, don't do this. Remember, guys, we have this coming up. I don't think you say things like if you're in the end zone, you don't go, remember, lineman, don't hold because it's a safety, because then you're putting it in the lineman's head.
Right.
I don't think you're doing that. But you're going, hey, guys, we have one timeout left, so we need to do this and this and this, and then we'll call it. Like you're setting it up for everybody to know what they're going to do. Or at least you're telling a quarterback or something to that effect. And to sit there and, so I don't think you have to tell Barossa not to steal. But before Marte goes up there, in the heat of the moment, you go, we have 2 challenges.
Right.
Feel free to use them.
It's the bottom or top of the ninth, bottom of the ninth.
No, it's the game over. Yeah, he literally game ended when he missed that. So you go, hey, on that last ball, use a strike if you need, use a challenge if you need to ahead of time. Keep the last one, and if you're at that plate and the last pitch comes in, no matter what happens, you challenge that pitch. If you're out, you have to tell him in that moment because Dale, you know this in the heat of the moment, late in the game. Now, you didn't win any close Super Bowls, right? Most of your Super Bowls ended up being blowouts. But I can guarantee you, at an end of a close Super Bowl game, coaches are going, remember, guys, this is what we're doing. Remember this. We have no timeouts, meaning receivers, get out of bounds when you catch these balls.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
You're reiterating that stuff, right?
Skill guys, get out of bounds, you catch the ball. Linemen, if they don't get to the sideline, get up on the ball so we can spike it.
Yeah, you just remind you because in the heat of the moment, you could be like, oh, it's just a normal second down, you got to go in a hurry. And you practice that all the time. You know that, right?
Yeah.
But in the heat of the moment, it just has to be said. There's a reason why coaches tuck the red challenge flag in their socks. And when they don't have challenges left, they just get rid of it. They don't hold it forever.
Right.
It's because in the heat of the moment, you can just throw it out there. So we'll have that discussion today as well. But before we get to that, 2 things. One, throw up the IFL Western standings here, everyone. If you don't know, we're a week away from the IFL playoffs. This is what I don't get, Dale, and this baffles me. Now that it's set here, this is the order. Rattlers are a 3 seed, so they will go to Vegas Nighthawks for the first round of the playoffs.
I did see some comments where the IFL website had the Rattlers as the number 2 seed.
Oh, really? I did not see that. I looked at it yesterday several times and then today, and I did not see that, so it's possible. But so we have this thing. They're a 3 seed. They go to Vegas to start their season, playoff season. But what I don't get is they have a whole regular season games to play this week.
Right.
Why are 2 teams, well, New Mexico as well, their season's over, but why are the Rattlers sitting at home and everybody else is playing? I get it. It's a bye week. It probably works out for them. You probably want that for rest. But usually at the end of the league, every game kicks off at the same time. Like every other league, everything kicks off at the same time, so you can't see what you're because you're hoping. Could you imagine if there was a battle for seeding here and the Rattlers are sitting at home and everybody else is playing? Like, how stupid is that?
Right.
The NFL does some weird stuff. So the Rattlers are done. Everybody else plays, but seeding doesn't matter. Let's just sum it up that way for everybody there, Dale. So we're a week away from the playoffs, but Vegas, and then if they win there and San Diego beats Tucson, then you go from Vegas. If you win that game, you go to San Diego. Ooh-wee.
Well, as we said yesterday, you while you want the home game in the playoffs because it's more money for the owner, another gate, all those things. When you're honest with yourself, when you look at the Rattlers, they've had more success on the road.
Well, traditionally, not this year.
Well, I'm talking about the playoff championship game.
Yeah, they have not won a championship with home games.
Right.
They've lost a lot of championships over their years at home. The championship game at home, and they used to play them here and everything. But yeah, they play better on the road for these championship runs. So, I mean, that's a huge rallying cry for this team. Their defense right now is playing out of control. And defense wins championships, folks, especially in this league. If you can get guys to do turnovers on downs and stuff like that. And by the way, you Arizona fans, Jaden DeLora, he's the quarterback of your Vegas Nighthawks as well up there in Vegas. So some fun little local stuff there for you Arizona Wildcats Cat fans. He took over like halfway through last year, got the championship last year and everything. So Jaden DeLora, there's a name from the past.
Yeah.
So that's coming up after this weekend. We'll get more updates on that. I just wanted to make sure you guys were aware of it. And then the big news overnight, another thing, just like Ryan Clark being pulled off halfway through the show, Live Golf, that coffin is closed, and they're literally about to nail that final nail in there, Dale. They, 2 things with Live Golf here. They lost the Asian Tour partnership. The Asia Tour announced this morning is touring up with the DP World Tour and the PGA Tour. They're partnering for that stance, and the Asian Tour and the Live Tour were partners before. So they lost a pretty important partner to them for golf tournaments and getting players onto their field and stuff like that. So huge deal. Then the second big deal here for Live is they're being sued by a tech company as well.
Yes.
The Any Shot, Anytime feature, which hasn't been around since end of May and stuff like that. So this company that ran that, they're suing Live for more than $1 million. Outstanding unpaid invoices, but then they're also adding lost revenue into there because they have a contract and Live has not done it and not paid for it, obviously, since May 31st. My point on this is you start to see these things. Live was trying to pair money and stuff like that. So the lawsuit alleges Live Golf failed to pay its licensing fee of $820,000 plus some, and then also the $104,000 plus some in usage fees this season. And then they're looking for lost revenue because they didn't use them for the remaining 6 events in 2026, if there are more events after that even, and stuff like that. 2-year contract, they say they breached it and stuff. This is the sign of a dying company.
Oh, yeah.
I told you guys it was coming. Everybody's going to want their money up front now, even more so now. We don't know if Liv's coming back after their summer hiatus. This is just these 2 moves here are just showing this Live Golf, which is going to be fascinating with DeChambeau, John Rahm, And some of these guys,
Yeah.
they're going to have problems playing golf in the future on a high level course, and they deserve to. But they're going to have problems doing so.
It's going to be interesting. Obviously, a couple of those live guys came back to the PGA Tour.
Playing well, by the way.
Koepka and Patrick Reed.
Yeah, they're both playing decent on the tour.
Yeah. And so I don't know how they're going to handle those other guys who took $100 million to go to live at least.
DeChambeau's interesting because he does all that off the course stuff.
Yeah.
And he does his own. So what he does is he finds his own sponsor. So he does a driving range feature. That will be allowed to be continued now on the PGA Tour. But he gets his own sponsorships for the driving range stuff. And PGA Tour's like, you can't get your own sponsorships. So he's like, all right, well, I'm just not going to come to your tour then. So there's this stalemate going on. Well, I can tell you this, the golfer is going to lose out because the PGA Tour has proven, we don't need you, DeChambeau. We've done well without you, buddy.
Every once in a while, show up, start a controversy, and
so I just wanted to point out, Dale, we are truly seeing the end, the death of live golf right before our eyes. It is slowly unraveling, coming up here. So I know Dale's going to be upset about that.
Starting off with one basically $1 million lawsuit, and I'm sure there'll be some other ones.
Now that's the thing.
And good luck getting your money from Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. Saudi Arabia has paid Live Golf everything they need for the rest of the contract.
Yeah.
And they've already burned through it from what I was reading a couple weeks ago. They were just literally that costs how much? Oh, we don't care. We'll just do it. We have all the money in the world. So it'll be fascinating to see there. When we come back, the legend, the great. No, Dale Hellestrae is already here, folks. We're going to add another legend, Hall of Famer as well here in Arizona. Bruce Cooper is joining us. Not that Hall of Famer over
Hall
there.
of Famer. Cooper?
He's not in the Scottsdale Hall of Fame.
He is not even close. Not like Dale and Jim Palmer.
Bruce Cooper joins us next, folks. And we're back here. Main event, of course. You know what today is. It's Tuesday. Top of the hour coming up, but he comes in early in his serpentine jersey.
That's right. I was watching a game last night and obviously disappointed. I mean, you beat the Cardinals 8-7, rallying from 7-run down, and then you beat a team. You lose to a team in the A's who've lost like 19 of their previous 23 games. I mean, it's just so ridiculous. But one of the things I was watching last night that it just stuck out in my head, and it was an Oakland A's rookie. He's at bat. Now, I have seen millions of times players foul a ball off their shin, their ankle, their foot, but never in that sensitive area. I mean, and the dude went down.
Yeah.
And he stayed down. Now, I give him credit. He he got back up, got a base hit, and then they eventually replaced him in the game. But it reminded me of a situation that it just still makes me cringe to this day.
Oh.
I think it was a former Diamondback. Someone suffered a fractured testicle. And I think it was a former Diamondback. My memory's kind of clogging them. But I was watching that and saying, oh, my gosh. And Bob Brindley, color analyst for the Diamondbacks last night, he says, well, not many players wear cups today. And I'm like, what? It was mandatory. But then I've got to thinking about, I said, as mandatory as it was in baseball, no one ever wore a cup in football.
No. And it's fascinating when you say that because when you're talking about, you see it happen to another man, and you cringe.
Yes,
it's almost like
you
get that
do.
feeling in your stomach because you know what he's going through.
Yes, you do.
We had a linebacker with the Buffalo Bills named Scott Radisek.
I remember that name.
Scott Radisek.
Sure
He played probably 7-8 years in the league. Pretty good linebacker. He was a middle linebacker. He's coming across on a play, and a lineman got dumped on the ground, tripping over, whatever, and he came up, and his heel hit right in the private parts. Scott had to go into emergency surgery that night, and they had to remove a testicle.
No. Well, that's worse than the fractured
Yeah,
testicle I heard about.
yeah.
I never heard that story.
They had to remove it, and then
man,
we were sat down the next day in team meetings like, you might want to go to the sperm bank and and leave semen and all that. So if you want to have babies, because a lot of young guys don't have kids or whatever. It's like you never even thought about that as a football player.
No.
But oh my goodness, it just cringe when I talk about it.
But that story's gonna top the one the fractured testicle. But I will say this, that I was just stunned to hear Brindley say. Not many players. I guess for all the catchers, it's kind of mandatory.
Well, they have to. Yeah.
But I mean, I was kind of shocked to hear that.
Yeah.
Because when we were growing up, I mean, they had something they called a cup check.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, it's not just that. I mean, you've seen padding disappear in all football players, and
I've told Steve the story. Coop, you remember the name Nate Newton?
Yeah.
He weighed 350, 360 pounds.
For the
yeah, and. He would take the padding off his thigh pads just so he had just a little plastic hard shell. And I remember he lockered next to me. I said, Newt, what are you doing taking the padding? He goes, Helly, it just kind of weighs me down a little bit. I go, Newt, you're 360 and you're going to tell me the 2 ounces are slowing you down. But
well, they don't do knee pads anymore. Like
no.
Cornerbacks don't wear knee pads anymore, and
everybody
receivers
wants to look good.
Is that what it is? Or is it comfort?
Yeah.
It's looking good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, now for me, I thought the padding always slowed me down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really, I didn't feel like I was at my swiftest when I had all the extra gear on. Now, if I took it off, man, I can just be free flowing and stuff. But I understood the protections that were needed in that regard. But my goodness, man, baseball players today, most of them don't wear cups. That just stunned me. I'm watching the game. I'm like, you are freaking kidding
This
me.
is the knowledge that the legend Bruce Cooper brings to the program, folks, right here. Autumn chimed in and says, wow, I joined at an interesting time on the show.
Hey, well, look, I'm watching the game last night, and I'm disappointed the Diamondbacks are losing. And then I see that. I'm like, I've never seen that in a baseball.
Right. A lot of things get hit with a foul ball, but.
Yeah.
We'll get into, because I have a serious issue with a Tory-led Diamondbacks team. We'll talk about that at the top of the hour and stuff like that. And I got a clip for you guys that I just wanted to like I said, it was raining last night at my house and everything, and I was about ready to just walk out into the lightning storm because I'm just getting infuriated with what I hear from him after the mistakes we're seeing out there and stuff like that. So we'll talk about that coming up. Cardinals start training camp this week. We'll get into depth on that. First practice is on Thursday.
Yeah.
Coming up for them, we'll talk about that, and of course, Jacoby Watch.
Uh-oh.
Still no signing, Coop. Still no signing. We'll get into that with you as well. The thing I wanted to bring up, though, here at the back of this hour with you is the Cardinals executive is appealing his gambling suspension from the NFL. Me and Dale talked about this yesterday. You obviously covered this team for a long time at an intimate level. Worked closely with them. Got yelled at all the time when you were negative about them, and those some public, some not so public stories we don't need to get into on just what not a good guy some people are in that organization. My words, not Coop's. My words from that perspective. But I talked about this yesterday. Now, so we had DUIs, right? We had the McDonough situation. We had the owner abuse allegations with lawsuits, things to that effect. The DUI on Steve Keim, and then he gets to keep his job. Now a gambling thing coming into this. At some point, don't you have to look at a wall and say, I'm not hiring the right people? Or I'm not a good guy and I'm bringing this into my organization?
Yeah, when they say it starts at the top and trickles down, I mean, you just kind of went over a series of issues in that front office. And look, I don't know. Is it Gold? Is that his last name?
Yeah, Gold. Gold's the gambling gentleman.
Yeah, I don't know him at all. Never had it.
Yeah, college scout.
Yeah,
probably wasn't there when you were running around.
Yeah. But at that being said, only thing I can think of that he's going to appeal is that he didn't lay any money down or anything like that.
He's saying his wife gambled. Yeah.
Oh, is that what he said?
Not him, is what his lawyer's saying.
Okay. Well, I mean, the fact that he's giving out some insider information, or allegedly giving out some insider information.
He nailed
relative
the first
to the draft.
Yeah, he nailed the first 5 picks. You don't do that without insider info.
I mean that alone right now there calls for a suspension.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he is officially going to appeal it, but I'm just looking at it more on the perspective of. I pulled it up during the show yesterday. I did more research yesterday. I googled like GM, legal issues in the NFL. Or executive legal issues. I emailed it yesterday. And it's things like John Gruden suing the NFL because, he got caught up in that, back then, the Redskins situation. Then it was like Daniel Snyder lawsuits. It's those types of lawsuits with owners and or, malfeasance on that side of things. And every single one is like, Cardinals GM, DUI with the, whatever, 2.8, BAC. And then now this gambling situation, then the McDonough, and then the lawsuits against, Bidwell for treating people bad. Dale brought it up yesterday. The Cleveland Browns, who are one of the most inept organizations on the planet, the New York Jets, nobody else has these executives in front office positions having these issues. And it says more. To me, it says more than anything. Take the players' problems out of it. That happens with every team. That's harder to control. But these are people directly working on the business side of the sports for the owner and his team. And it's just not a good look at all. And it says something.
It's not a good look at all. And, I don't remember, when I say Mr. B, I mean,
Bill,
this past
I brought this up yesterday. I'm glad you're bringing it up.
I don't remember any issues like that with his front office. It always just dealt with maybe the ineptness of the team in terms of wins and losses, things like that.
You might have hired the wrong guy to help win.
Yeah, and the only other thing I can think of negative about Mr. B was that, they just never really spent the money.
Right.
A lot of their first round picks came in late and things like, and so we understand.
He did the thing like he charged them for shorts, he charged them for food when everybody moved away from that. But that's what I mean. That's running the team. That's separate from hiring bad apples.
Now with the move into state, I guess it was
University of Phoenix originally.
But that stadium, it brought in a whole new different set of revenue streams, and so you never hear about a first round holdout.
Right.
I mean, they're always signed. Now I know Jacoby Brissett.
No, Beck's not signed.
Well, he's not a first rounder. Anyway.
Oh, that's true. He's a third rounder. No, he's even worse, Coop. He's a third rounder.
It just tells me there's a slotting issue there. Really, I mean,
they're probably arguing over an option year, right?
Right.
I would guess
it could be like some perks, things like that. That Dale knows, but. That aside, you're absolutely right. Under Mike, there's some things that have changed, positively about the organization. But you can't argue what you just went down. I mean, he's you got to question some of his front office decisions or hires.
There's been other GMs that have been arrested for DUI, and they generally lose their jobs. They don't go on a suspension, a big fine, welcome back, and then his tenure at the end there, right, where he just went and checked himself into a hospital or whatever he did, and then they just kept him there for a few more months and acted like he was coming back. It's just this weirdness happening around there, and it's not a good feeling when if you're screwing up on that level. How are you going to get your on the field product that everybody cares about?
And that's what you talk about. It's been said many times before and proven many times before. Problems start from the top on down, and so, maybe Mike needs to take a closer look at the people he's promoting or the people he's hiring,
right?
Things like that.
I just know, like when I think back, because in the corporate world, I did a lot of hiring and. You'd hire somebody, and you're like, "Oh, this person doesn't fit in. That's not their fault. That's my fault for not seeing that ahead of time." And you make whatever move you need to do to get the thing. It's just, for me, it's like he doubles down and doubles down and doubles down more.
The thing is, you kind of look at the way I look at it, and I think Michael's a smaller version of it than Jerry Jones. Where if Jerry looked in the mirror, he would say, "Okay, I tried to do it my way 30 years."
Mm-hmm.
We haven't been back to the Super Bowl.
Right.
30 years. Now, I'm a smart businessman. I'm a billionaire. This franchise is the most valuable friend. I do all of that stuff really good. Let me hire a football guy and let me stay out of this.
That he can't do.
He can't do that. And the same thing with Michael. Well, hire somebody that you can trust and maybe just you take a step away. But it's amazing that these guys who are so brilliant. I'm not putting Michael in there, but I guess he's a attorney and all that. So he has to have some
success.
smarts.
Well, he was a prosecutor,
whatever. But still an attorney.
Just kidding.
But you look at Jerry Jones. He's a brilliant businessman. No matter what you think of him, but yet he can't see through the forest that we haven't been to the Super Bowl since 1995. We let go of Hellestrae and everything just went away. Back in 2000, and we haven't been able to recover. Look at Coop. Okay, Coop has a straight face.
I think everybody just rolled their eyes right there. Dale's trying to sneak that in, Coop.
Hey, you can't argue it, Coop.
It's facts of the fact,
yeah,
right?
you can't argue it.
Hey, but look, I'll say this about Michael. I mean, maybe his hiring practices, maybe he needs to take a step back. But he has, and I'm really proud of him from the standpoint that he's tried to change the image of the Cardinals. I love the fact that he's building this new state-of-the-art practice facility.
They shovel ground and put a sign up.
What now?
They haven't done anything with it yet.
I thought they broke ground.
Oh, yeah, they dug a couple shovel holes. That's a long way away from building a building, Coop. There's just a sign up there.
You're saying some stuff I don't even know.
Go drive by it. You and I go drive by it. I'll come pick you up at your house and let's go drive by that plot of land and see what's happening.
I saw it the other day. I think there's a couple of hills of dirt, and then there's a sign that says "Future Home of the Arizona Cardinals."
Yeah, but to be fair, it takes time to do that stuff. But again, it goes to the perception of: are you building this, or was this just a? Because remember when he announced that? It was when he was having some negative things, and then he has to, buy his way into this Hall of Fame deal, and or somebody feeds him into a Hall of Fame deal to make him look good. Then he announces the practice facility when these report, and then just nothing.
Yeah,
it goes to the whole perception, and those things take a while to build. Don't get me wrong.
Too many times the report that the players are part of that comes out. The Cardinals are like. There's only 32 teams in the NFL, as everyone knows. Cardinals are either finishing 30, 31, or 32.
I think they finished 34th one year, but I don't even know how that happened. But I think that's what happened.
It's interesting, and we can get into this after the break, because I know we got to take a break. But do you know who's right there with them, Coop? A team named the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, look, the Chiefs have a really decrepit facility.
Yes.
And so.
Well, that's why they're looking to build that new stadium over in Kansas now.
Right. And so there's an issue. I mean, you're absolutely right. Kansas City, Kansas.
Yeah.
Is trying to lure the Chiefs away from Kansas
They've
City,
done
Missouri.
Yeah. They've done it. They're going to build in Kansas.
It is true now?
It's not like the Bears. The Bears situation is still in flux, but they're building it over on the Kansas side of the line. Olathe over there.
Yeah, I mean, I played in Arrowhead Stadium in the 80s. And it was kind of brand spanking new.
Well, I mean, if you know the Kansas City, that's what I was telling Dale, and this is what fascinates me, and then we'll go to break here and come back and talk more NFL stuff here, and then we'll get into the Diamondbacks. But the thing that fascinates me is every other bad owner in the league, except for maybe the Jets, but even the Browns of Cincinnati, They had some successful years there where they were making playoff runs. Kansas City, terrible ownership, a family-owned, terrible ownership, just mediocre team for 60 years or whatever. Get Andy Reid. They just get out of their way for a second, and they have this blip of success out
Well, they
there.
draft some guy named Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
They won for the Super Bowl.
And Andy Reid, and
Sure.
to make him that. Like the Cardinals, they lucked into that Super Bowl in 2008 with Wisenhunt, with that 8-8 record, and that's all I'm saying. But then they couldn't get out of their way when they went to the playoffs and beat the Dale Hellestrae Dallas Cowboys in that run, right? And what they do next year? They let all the big name guys go and all the talent on that team go to where they were bad again the next year.
Well, they did that because they all said that we got lucky against Hellestrae and the Cowboys. We can't do it again.
But every other owner gets out of their own way every once in a while,
Except for
one, and it's the Cardinals, and I'd say the Jets too.
Jerry Jones.
Well, now, but it's hard to. Now you're correct, but he did it right for 3 years before he started meddling.
He bit his tongue
4 years
and was jealous of all the success that was going towards Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, exactly. But again, got out of his way for 4 or 5 dominating years, and then he stepped in. Michael Bidwell, get out of the way for 4 years, please.
It would be one thing if the Cowboys didn't have those 4, 5, 6 years in the 90s.
He would be a terrible owner.
Then he could sit there and go, well, I just don't know how else to do this. But he knows how he had success. And he tried to recreate it with Bill Parcells, and then he couldn't keep himself away from things. So anyway.
It's just an amazing thing. I just wanted to just talk because you obviously talked to Michael Bidwell multiple times. You've been screamed at by him and things like that, and told you know what you're talking about, like everybody has around that organization.
Have you ever been on his plane, Coop?
The plane?
Yeah, his plane.
Oh yeah. Oh, Michael's
his
plane?
specific plane.
Well, maybe not his specific plane.
You weren't a mid-level draft pick from Tulsa or someplace. And he went and picked you up. Come on back, folks. Second hour main event coming up next. And we're back here. Second hour main event. Bruce Cooper, the legend from Channel 12.
And Westwood.
34-ish years then. Yeah, he takes credit for Randy Bennett and his success he's about to have at ASU. He played with him at Westwood. You were before him, right?
Before him.
So you were a couple years before. You take credit for Randy Bennett's dad over there at MCC dominating. This is all off-air stuff, folks. Just to know what we have to deal with this egomaniac over here. Danny White. He wasn't even alive when Danny White was at Westwood. No. Danny White obviously was before you, but was he or after you? I'm sorry,
look, Danny White. I mean, his pictures and accolades, they adorn the locker rooms at Westwood. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, he was that dude.
Yeah.
So everyone knew who he was just by walking in.
I saw Richard Oper just did a high school. We'll get back to Cardinals in a second, but Richard Oper just did a top 10 like in the state. He included track and field people and stuff. He had Danny White number 1 of all time, best athletes.
Is that right?
In the state, I think he was 1 or 2. I think he was 1 in his reporting there as well. Which it shouldn't shock me because
don't bury the lead. Where was Hellestrae?
yeah, well, I kept scrolling after 10. He had track and field guys in there, and
I think I
stuff
was
like
11.
that. Yeah, exactly. Is that what it was? Yeah. I don't know. You know what? I didn't. I haven't seen Richard since that came out. I missed the last Rattlers game and everything, so I haven't seen Richard, so I don't know. Next time I'll see him, I'll have to ask him.
Yeah.
Hey, out of curiosity, where'd you have Hellestrae on that list? Yeah, Danny White. But see, Danny White was before my time. I know he was with the Cowboys when I was cognizant of football and stuff like that. But you go back and read those stories, man. Just like you said,
Well, he was
dude.
a full sports star too, right?
The dude, like he was just dominant and things to that effect. So I just found that interesting. But going back to the Cardinals here, we were talking the Michael Bidwell side of it, and that's just the easiest thing to fix is the hiring process. If you know what you're doing, and getting the right people in there. But then the other problem, of course, we got is they're reporting tomorrow and everything. First practice on Thursday. I said earlier in the show, Coop, I said the narrative coming out of this training camp is going to be, three things. Is Love is going to, Jeremiah Love in just regular shorts and everything or shells. He's going to do some things during practice where people are going to lose their minds about, right? He's going to make some move and everybody's going to be like, oh, Jeremiah Love looks fluid, which is fantastic. That's what you want to hear. You're going to hear about the quarterback position, right? Whether Jacoby's there, Jacoby watch. Whether Beck is there, everything Beck does is going to be magical, at the same time. We're going to have to deal with that. But then the thing that I'm not looking forward to around training camp is I think we're going to hear every practice is how great Marvin Harrison Jr. looks and how dominant he is. And this is his season, and you can see it in training camp. And that narrative right there is going to drive me nuts. Not because I want him to fail or anything like that. We've heard that the last two training camps and then nothing when the football season starts. So I don't want to hear it this year.
Yeah. Well, look, just to piggy off the Marvin Harrison thing, I have to believe, and I truly do believe this will be his breakout year.
Yeah, said that.
You cannot put together the type of career that he did at Ohio State, and then have your dad, that DNA. That Hall of Fame DNA, that it doesn't take root somewhere. I mean, it just has to. He's just too skilled and too talented.
Goop, this world is littered with kids of superstar athletes that haven't done anything.
It is, but
in that aspect,
but what he did at Ohio State, and look, if it fails to manifest itself this year, I think the Cardinals should just cut ties.
Well, they have to decide this year if you're going to pick up his fifth-year option or whatever.
Yeah. And so I just got to believe it is. I mean,
is that hope? Is that hope, or are you basing that on something?
Well, I'm just
that sounds like hope.
I'm just basing it on the fact that some of the games that I watch, and I know Dale made some very astute points in that. The kid was pretty much running free in the secondary, and so he's catching the ball
at Ohio State.
Unabated.
Unabated. Thank you, Dan. Yeah. And so now that he gets to the NFL, he's being tightly contested.
He's dropping wide open passes too, though.
And so and there's no question that he's dropped too many of those. I mean, that's the most astounding part about this to me is the balls that just hit him in his hand with no one in his zip code or area code.
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, Dale can probably talk more about this than I can, but my question is this. Now you got a new coaching staff in here, new system. He's got to learn. If he struggled with the last regime in year 2, being in it for 2 years, he's got a new system now. I'm going to say a more complicated offensive system on top of it. You expect him to improve in this idea of it as well?
Steve, the system has nothing to do with him dropping wide open passes. I mean,
Well, it does if he's thinking too much, which is what I've heard about. Oh, he's just out there thinking. Well,
I'm going to say.
Well, he thought very well to get open.
Right. And the thing about catching open passes is, and so this, Coop. So much about sports. You can be the biggest, strongest, fastest dude out there, but what's going on here?
Yeah, there's something there.
What's going on here? And that is, if I'm having to take a guess, because he's 6'4". He's whatever he is, 215 pounds.
So much bigger than his dad.
Yeah. And
he's ripped, too. So he should be able to get any ball from a defender.
And he is open a lot. And all those things. So then to me, it comes down to this.
Yeah.
And what's going on in there, because you know this.
Yeah.
You actually told me the story, Coop, when you missed that first shot in the basketball game.
Confidence
it messed you up for most of the game.
Yeah.
And I've had games like that to where I miss a bunny, and it's like, what in the hell? Or a golf course and miss a 3-foot putt and go, oh my gosh, now you're standing over the next one. Right here, I think, is the big thing. Now, is this year 4 for him or year 3?
Year 3.
Yeah.
Year 3, okay.
Yeah.
And so,
that's why they have to decide on his 5th-year option this
Absolutely.
year, I believe.
And so that's where I am, because, and you talked about it. I mean, each year, as I got from my freshman to my sophomore, I was more confident. From my sophomore to my junior year, more confident. From my junior to my senior, hey, I know I'm that dude.
Yeah.
I know. And so I just have to believe that and that's mental. It had anything to do with physical. It was mental. And so I just got to believe that's the next step for him.
Right.
Yeah, I just got to.
But that's what worries me. Normally you see a confidence, if anything, he might not have regressed last year, but he didn't improve at all. So where do you get that confidence from? How do you go from whatever confidence he had to now with the new coaching staff, with the new system, and things to that? That's what I'm worried about.
Well, for me, it's at the end of each season, you kind of reflect back, and then you realize that, hey, I made that step. And then you're working harder in the next season to build up on what you did. And again, this is a big year for him, and if it doesn't,
it's make or break year.
And that's crazy
receivers
to say about it. He was the number 4 overall pick in the entire draft.
Receivers that don't fulfill their first year and live up to a certain level generally don't make it in the league after that. There's a long guys. It's not they're not reclamation projects. Now, guys that come up and play well and then struggle, they can be reclamation projects. So it's a big year for him from that perspective. You can't tell me he's not thinking about it. I hope you're right. God, I hope you're right, Coop. It's just I'm not going to pay attention to it until first game of the season when he does out there.
And let me tell you one other thing that I'm kind of anxious might not be the right word, but I'm kind of excited to see, because this also happened to me. I was a pretty hard worker in high school. I did what I needed to do to play football and basketball. Then I get to SMU and realize I didn't do diddly. I had to relearn what working was. Yeah. And then I got that down by my junior and senior year, and then I get to Buffalo, and I'm like, there's a whole nother level of doing this? And maybe it's taken him 2 years to figure that out. And we can hope for the best, and I'm going to hope for the best until he proves me that it's not the best.
I just don't want to see what he did last year, where he was an anchor on this offense. After Wilson stepped up, he was an anchor on this offense and stifled the rest of the receivers out there. I don't want to see that happen. Go out there and struggle and learn your craft, whatever, fine. But he was an anchor last year as that season went on.
Well, here's the deal. I think, and this is just me, I think when he came in, he was looked at as that number 1 option, that number 1 go-to guy, the guy.
He was going to be he's Larry Jr.
He couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
And so now, as we morph now into year 3, because again, year 2 is much like year 1, he's not even that number 1 option anymore.
Right.
That Trey McBride's taken over that number 1 option.
Oh yeah.
He might not even be 2.
Yeah, and Michael Wilson. And then here's the deal: they drafted some kid named Jeremiah Love, who is very adept at catching the ball in the backfield.
Right.
And we already know that LaFleur. Watch what they did in the Rams, throwing to Kyron Williams out of the backfield and Blake Corum out of the backfield. They're going to use their backs out of the backfield. So all of a sudden, the pressure he may have felt, he doesn't even, he won't feel anymore, because he's not now looked at that as that guy, and so he can just run fluidly and try.
They said he's going to be the X receiver, but that's my hope. Really quick it's just that the pressure's off of him. Wilson, and the Love and the tight end are going to be the main guys. You just go do what you're going to do, and we'll find you.
Well, the other thing that brings with it, and again, this is something I know personally because Alvin Harper was on our Dallas Cowboys team.
I remember that dude, number 80.
Unbelievable 2 receiver behind Michael Irvin. Mm-hmm. Unbelievable, because he would always get the weaker cornerback, usually single coverage, because everybody's trying to take Michael out of the game. And Alvin shined. Signed with Tampa Bay for big money. He's supposed to be number 1. He wasn't a number 1. Didn't have the personality. didn't have, that's my football when it's in the air. And now think about that. You got to make sure Trey McBride's covered. You got to remember Wilson's got to be covered.
Mm-hmm.
Love, you got to check on him, and I don't even know if a linebacker can stay with him, even a fast linebacker. And now all of a sudden there's this Marvin Harrison. Well, who's he going against? He's going against McCollum or Hellestrae or Cooper, in single coverage. Maybe that does open his eyes and all those things.
I would just hang back and let the ball be thrown to him. And my job will be done. Then after he drops it, I'll just point and I'll just celebrate. I'm just kidding. I really do. And that's the big story for me. I mean, there's other storylines running back, but is Marvin Harrison going to be that dude?
Yeah, quarterback's going to be the one that people are going to watch a lot about. And I just think that, so many people I'm just hearing, they think Carson Beck is that dude. I mean, we got to find out. Give him. I'm like,
that's me, Coop.
I'm like at this point here. Look, I have seen the Cardinals spend number one picks with a guy named Matt Leinart, a guy named Josh Rosen, a guy named Kyler Murray. And so then I look.
Josh Rosen.
Yeah, then I look across the league, and I see people like Baker Mayfield taking 1 overall, Sam Darnold 3 overall, and they never made it with their teams, but they've had success when they went to other organizations that put better players around them. I'm telling you, the Cardinals now have some playmakers around whoever they put under center.
I agree,
and I'm really excited for that because they don't have all that pressure. But then here's the deal: how good is that defense going to be? Because look. You can go back and look at Tom Brady, as great as he was. I mean, there's seasons and Super Bowls that he's won because their defense.
Oh, interception at the 1 yard line, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
for an example.
And so, do the Cardinals have that type of personnel on their defensive side of the field? Because again, I know a lot of people have. I think you pointed out where Vegas doesn't have the Cardinals favored in any game.
Yeah.
In 17.
No, they're 1 point. Last I looked, it's been a couple weeks, but they're even a dog to the Jets
At
at
home.
1 point at home. Yeah,
and,
that's late in the season. And double digit. At the beginning of the season, it's double digit underdogs on top of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I'm just saying that I don't think this Cardinals team is as bad as what Vegas thinks, because if you really look at last season, they're 2-0. Before they go on this 3-game losing streak in a row in which they would walk off. They very well, if they had a defense that could have made that one play, they could have been 5-0 and Dale. If you're 5-0, the mentality and everything is different. So the Cardinals aren't that bad as Vegas says they are. And so, but I do feel that they need to have that quarterback situation figured out. And I, for the life of me, and I know the Cardinals, I saw that this under the cap deal. Cardinals are way, way, way under the cap.
I want to say right now I think they're $30 million, but next year Dale looked it up before. It's like 150 or 130 million next year.
But it's not like.
But they can't sign people in free agency.
It's not like Jacoby Brissett is asking for $30 million.
No, well,
I mean,
allegedly.
And I just can't believe that we find ourselves on the eve of report day.
Right.
And they can't solve this situation.
It's terrible.
It's unbelievable.
Does anybody think, and maybe we'll be surprised, does anybody think that today's the day where the Cardinals and Jacoby are going to be like, all right, we're good. I'll report tomorrow with my new deal.
But tell me this, and we've asked, at least I've asked this question, I think all three of us have for months. What is Jacoby asking for?
Yeah.
I don't know, but here's the deal. Someone floated this out to me. Coop, I just think the Cardinals don't want to bring him back because they want to get a top 3 pick in the draft. They want to really suck this beer. And I'm like, dude.
Cardinals are tanking, Coop.
I said, okay, let's say that they have a top 3 pick.
Yeah.
I just pointed out quarterbacks that are taken there
that
they don't pan out. That's no.
It's Arch Manning and the Oregon quarterback is the top 2 right now.
Moore, and look, I've watched Arch Manning play. Matter of fact, he had so much hype going into last year's season opener. He was a flat out dud. Fell on his face in that game.
I'm convinced he had a shoulder injury.
Well, whatever. Look. I think the dude is, and look, I'm not trying to say Arch Manning is not a talented player because that's not true. But I've seen him. I think he runs better than he throws at this point.
He throws that weird sidearm throw.
And right now he's living off that family name. And I just don't know that he's that dude. And you talked about Dante Moore. Well, Dante Moore, I didn't know this. He had some personal tragedy within his family, so he's been seeing a psychiatrist since high school. And things like that. So. Who knows what's going on there? And then there's other quarterbacks out there.
Guys from Oregon Oregon quarterbacks don't translate in the NFL very well.
Well, yeah.
In general.
And then you have Julian Sayin from another Ohio State quarterback. You have Lenore Sellers from Mississippi State. But the guy I like,
here it comes, Coop.
I really like. I like Trinidad Chambliss from
his
Ole Miss.
His problem. I agree with you on that. His problem is Ole Miss is taking a big step back this year, I think, and it's just he's not going to get that spotlight, which is going to automatically put him down into a second or third round type quarterback spot. They have to dig himself out of for the draft.
If you think he's going to drop like that, I still see him as a first rounder no matter what. I mean, I think Sam Levitt's more of that second or third round type guy that you're saying.
We'll see.
Okay,
on the basketball court.
So let me tell you, the one thing you said, you brought up Sam Darnold, you brought up Baker Mayfield. Who were the teams that drafted those two?
Again, that's where you're going.
The Jets and the Browns.
Cleveland Browns, right.
Are you telling me that the Cardinals aren't right in with those two? Do you think they're slightly above?
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. I mean, if Cleveland and the Jets. The Jets haven't had a quarterback since Joe Namath.
It's even worse for Sam Darnold.
Hasn't had one since Bernie Kosar.
Yeah, but Sam Darnold goes from the Jets to the Panthers when they were barely winning any football games. And stuff like that, it takes him to get to it all comes down to coaching, which is where I go back to the owner doesn't stay out of his way.
Well, he got again, but when Darnold wound up in Minnesota, they had some dude named Justin Jefferson there, and all of a sudden,
and a coach that's a quarterback whisperer.
Okay, you can say that, but I'm just telling you, it's all of a sudden. He had
you're
a guy
not wrong.
to throw to. If you look at Baker Mayfield,
look at Kyler Murray this year
at Tampa Bay, has some dude named Mike Evans. Out there. It really does make a difference having some playmakers around. I think Buffalo is now saying that, hey man, we've been relying too much on Josh Allen to take us. Let's see if we can now bring him a receiver now.
Right,
and things like that. So
Buffalo's always had the wrong receivers.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, so I don't think you can separate Jets, Browns, Cardinals right now.
You can't.
So you're talking about these guys next year. So you say you get the second or third pick in the draft next year.
Point.
Who's to say that they're going to flourish here?
That's my point exactly. Yeah. Why would you want? I don't want to go down that road.
No.
So if you were that close to being 5-0, close to being 5-0, that means that if you bring back the team, put more better players around him, I think that you may be able to make that one play that you couldn't make the previous year.
Yeah,
and now
I agree with that. Troy Aikman, it's because of the talent around him. Troy's a great quarterback, but he wouldn't have been that quarterback, right? Guys like you said, who was the 10th draft? Matt Leinart, right? Mm-hmm. Not a lot of talent around him. Never was able to break out of it. Sam Rosen, same type of. Doesn't mean they would have. But you don't have a chance as a quarterback. Very rarely do you have a chance as a quarterback to be really successful with no talent. Archie Manning back in the day with the Saints was able to do it.
But
you don't get it too often.
I am going to correct you on that, Steve. The fact that, yes, when you're talking about the USC quarterback, you just Matt Leinart comes here.
You can name a bunch of them.
Yeah, but guess what? There's a guy named Kurt Warner who took that team to the Super Bowl. Yeah. I know 8-8 or whatever they were.
I know. No, you're right. But that was a fun team with Kurt Warner in there. But that's all my point is quarterbacks, not all of them. Kurt Warner was a special one. He had a lot of talent in St. Louis. Lack of talent here, but he still had talent here.
Kurt Warner had Kurt Warner had some dude named Larry Fitzgerald to throw to, Hall of Famer. Some dude named Anquan Bolden, who should be a Hall of Famer.
That's what I said. I wanted to see Coop get mad.
Some dude named Steve Breston, who wound up being the third receiver in that bunch to get 3,000 yards. And then he had, guess what? He had some Hall of Fame running back named Edgerrin James.
Yeah.
That's the team that went to the Super Bowl.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, the fact that Matt Leinart was captain check down.
Yes.
That was his problem.
But that's what I'm saying. Not every quarterback, can step up and play well.
Sure.
But you have to have talent. Very, very few are like Kurt Warner. Very few are like, well, Kurt Warner struggled in New York before he came here.
Yeah.
Lack of talent there. So I firmly believe quarterbacks, even bad quarterbacks, will look good with a lot of talent around them. And like I said, that's why I expect Kyler Murray to have a jump up this year in Minnesota.
I think there's some guy named Trent Dilfer who was a first-round bust until he wound up being in Baltimore, where they had the best defense led by Ray Lewis and company that won a freaking Super Bowl.
He made one throw in the Super Bowl,
yeah.
and it was the tight end, Shannon Sharp, for the touchdown. That's all he did. Otherwise, it was all defense.
Yeah.
It one play in a game and to win a Super Bowl. But I agree, and that's why you have to get the talent around. And the Cardinals are giving that up. Now they have to step up and things to that effect. But, I mean, you're right. The quarterback position going into camp is a conversation because that's the problem. We know what we have with Brissett. We know what we have with Minshew. The shiny unknown is a very successful college quarterback. So people, hey, if we're going to win 1 or 2 games, let's just see what he's got out there. Don't get me wrong. If Brissett or Minshew go out there and win 7 games, you're not going to see back out there.
Well, and I'd rather if that's the mindset that I would like to go into, give me a Brissett or give me a Minshew, whoever that veteran starter is, but you have to come in with a full cupboard. You can't.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Be lingering on the sideline.
Yeah.
And so maybe I start off 5-0. Maybe I have that team that can make that play. If I don't, at the halfway point, that's when I can turn now to Carson Beck.
Yes, I agree.
But I don't want to. But but I have fans now that want to see Beck
start.
Yeah. Dude, that would be the worst thing that could happen.
Yeah, then you're going 0 and whatever with that schedule.
And you are crippling him.
Yeah,
right.
That's the problem.
Because there are very few quarterbacks who can get the living snot beat out of them their rookie year and come back like Troy did.
Yeah.
But he's one of the few that got beat up like that and then still came back.
The other thing I'm looking forward to at training camp is one help. But you brought up the defense. I believe at the beginning of last year, I'm going to separate the first half of the season from the second half. I believe the Cardinals defense just got tired at end of games. So a lot of those 3, all they needed was one stop. They were exhausted because they were constantly on the field in the first half. So when the fourth quarter came, they were exhausted. The other team's offense was fresh and stuff to that.
Steve,
so I think
early in the season, I don't know if I can buy that.
Okay.
That was early in the season.
I was at the game, Scoop.
But look, it's a one. The Cardinals would have a 1 or 2 point lead.
I agree.
It's a field goal that beats them.
I agree.
You need to make one.
That's an offensive problem. That's what I'm getting at. So then you got to rely on a defense that was out there a long time. I'm not saying they shouldn't have done it, but I believe that was part of it. I'll tell you this. I think that's why the defensive coordinator came back, is because within that organization, they were like, we got talent on this defense. It's just they got worn out at the end of games.
I think here's my take on this. Number one, are all the defensive linemen healthy going into tomorrow, or do we have any pull casts?
Well, I think Walter Nolan, Darius Robinson.
Big year for Darius.
They're both
big year
healthy.
for Darius.
I've been reading Darius's his career's on the line for training camp if he doesn't perform
and they
well.
went and they brought in Roy Lopez.
Back. And Roy Lopez is an interesting one because I said last year they took the heartbeat of this team away with Roy Lopez going to the Detroit and the linebacker number 6, Kazir White, who was just a hard hitter, and stuff that they didn't bring those 2 guys back, and like the heartbeat went away on the defense.
And that long-haired guy.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I just forgot. He went to Jacksonville. I forgot his name.
Gardeck.
Yeah, so they took away the heartbeat there. So bringing Roy Lopez back, hopefully we get some of that heartbeat
and
back.
then they bring Andrew Billings back, another one of these big pluggers in the middle, and Dante Steele. And so look, their whole defensive line is healthy. Mac Wilson, who has been their quarterback at linebacker, guy that calls shots. I mean, he missed a lot of time last year.
You're getting some of those safeties back.
Yeah, so he's back healthy. Will Johnson, who fell to him in the second round, I mean, he's a corner. I think he can be their shutdown number 1 corner if he can stay healthy. Again,
right.
The Cardinals are starting to collect some talent on both sides of the ball. I'm more excited about what they have on the offensive side of the ball. But
So let's do this. Who do you think is going to be their quarterback starting the year? Who do you honestly think
For the regular season?
for the regular season?
If he's in camp, Jacoby Brissett. If not, then it's Gardner Minshew.
Okay.
It won't be Carson Beck.
I agree. I hope that's the case.
Yeah.
I'm the biggest Carson Beck fan on the planet, and I want to see what he can do. But I also am a realist, and you can't put him out there until you've lost 5-6 games, and you have no hope for the future, because that'll give you hope moving forward. The other thing to watch would be the running back position. We haven't talked about it all. They have an influx of them.
Well, to me, it's a no-brainer. It's Love, Algier, and if you want to pick up something for James Conner, maybe you can deal him, because there's some teams that they're going to need some backs. If not, then he's my third running back. I may bring him in. I already have Algier can do short yardage and goal line. If I want to, throw a bone to Connor, but Connor's best years are behind him. He's on the other side of 30.
Yeah.
And so I don't need to fool around with that. I mean, I'm going with I got a home run guy in Love. I got that power back short yardage guy in Algier who can also catch the ball out of the backfield. So unless barring injury, I don't think running back's an issue.
Yeah.
Okay. Trey has no chance to make this team, is what you're hoping?
Trey Benson. Trey Benson. His best bet is to see if he can outmaneuver or outplay Connor for that third spot.
Right.
Otherwise, I'm sliding him at 4.
I think they're going to favor Connor just because of what he's done coming off the injury. They know where he's at. I think they're going to favor Connor over everybody else except for Love and Algie, because they're the free agent signings. I think they're going to favor him just for that side of it as well. So those are just kind of the things that'll be fun to watch during camp here that they report
that's
tomorrow.
Fun. I mean, look, you now have something that the Cardinals haven't had for a couple of years, a running game. I mean, James Conner has been their running game. I know a lot of people are looking at Jacoby Brissett and saying, "Oh, look, Jacoby, at least he can find Trey McBride." I mean, Trey had nine touchdowns. He says Kyler couldn't find. Look, the year that McBride had over 100 receptions but 0 touchdowns, James Conner had like 18 touchdowns.
Yeah, it was his best running back year.
He had like 15 rushing, 3 receiving. So I mean, I'm not here to root for one particular player. If I get in the end zone, I don't give a rat's behind who it is.
But you're also forgetting that year that Connor had that great running year. The offensive line was fairly good.
Okay.
And now they've improved that this year, I believe. We'll have to wait and see. We'll get the analysis from Dale throughout the season. But they've improved it on paper.
On paper, they have.
They've improved it. So,
I'm anxious to see. I'm hearing a lot about Josh Fryer, former undrafted Ohio State Buckeye, who played with Paris Johnson at OSU.
Mm-hmm.
And
line mates.
I hear that when Paris went down, Fryer stepped in and played extremely well. So now they're putting him out at right tackle.
That's their problem spot, right tackle.
So he's at right tackle, along with, I guess, maybe Elijah Wilkinson, who they brought back, who played right tackle, started, I guess, 15, 16 games for the Bears a year ago.
Right.
So I'm looking at that spot on the offensive line, and they drafted Chase Besantis with their second-round pick, but I'm hearing some dude named Isaiah Adams, who they drafted in, I believe, the 4th round.
They're high on Isaiah Adams.
He played extremely well last year, and so Besantes may not beat him out because you went and signed Isaac Seumalo from the Steelers to be that left. So the left side.
He's your left side.
So the left side of your line is set. You're at center, from center to the left to the tackle. You're set with Frohold, Seumalo, and Paris Johnson. At right guard, it's either going to be Adams or Besantes, and right now I'm hearing it's Adams. I mean, and it's not close. So right tackle is really the only unknown spot, but or unsettled. That's a good word. But from everything I'm hearing about Josh Fryer, and keep in mind his position coach, Justin Fry, that was his guy at Ohio State. He was the offensive line coach at Ohio State.
Wasn't it you last year, Dale, that had a problem with the offensive line coach? Not a problem, but you were questioning.
Well, I questioned the move of Adams to Dallas because the Cowboys' offense went
Yeah, Dale was the first one to bring that up. Then
Yeah,
everybody
well,
else kind of started jumping on it after that.
He was, and that was very astute
Yeah,
from Dale.
yeah. And so it's not necessarily the Ohio
He doesn't
State.
make many good points, but that's a very good point.
I'm going to say I'm going to leave the show because Coop has called me astute 2 times in this show.
Autumn chimes in on the YouTube chat and says, my ex-mother-in-law worked in the front office for the Cardinals before they moved to Arizona. She always spoke wonderfully about the culture and the environment. Bill Bidwell Foster, the dad, of course.
Hey, let me tell you something.
Stuff,
Bill,
so.
when it came to community philanthropic work,
unbelievable, man.
Mr. B, he's top drawer. He really was. His problem was that a lot of the other owners, they had their wealth outside of the team.
Well,
Mr. B's wealth came from the team, and so now that the league has grown to the point with those major big contracts from TVs and things like that, they don't struggle like that anymore. As a matter of fact, Michael, who's come in, has grown their wealth to the point to where, hey, look, it's all good and him, but he's absolutely right. Mr. B, I mean, he was famous for giving blacks, executive positions.
Yeah.
I can tell you about a lady named Adele Harris. She was like those kids' second mother. I mean, you heard all these stories growing up, and she was a black woman. So Mr. B, he was, and always giving to the community.
And he did it quiet. He did it quietly.
He did.
It wasn't look at me.
And the thing that was his big albatross was that I just couldn't win.
The football field side of it.
Yeah.
Well, but I look back at that now and I go, the NFL left him behind because he was an old school owner where it was a family owned, and then all of a sudden you get the Jerry Jones buying in, and that stuff where they could just spend, like you said, spend all this money. He's like, I can't do that. That's not the way we operate.
Well, especially back then, it'd be interesting to see if he was an owner now.
Yeah. But he also, because the revenue at the stadium wasn't what Jerry Jones was getting, even with the old stadium and stuff to that. And that's what I would like to see on that, because it's just what we got now is, but that's the problem with sports today, if I may digress on this. It's a concentration on making your wealth bigger. You can win without winning on the field. And
what would be fascinating to see is Mr. B, Big Bill, getting a check every April to cover all his expenses, and just how does he handle that? That would be refreshing.
He would still probably drive the old beat up car.
Oh, he might still do that, but as far as running the car,
what he can do for that. But I mean, he held on to the end when he started turning it over to Michael. Is where you started seeing some of those food stuff going away.
Yeah, he definitely started handing it over to Michael because he was getting up there in age, and he just didn't have the same type of capacity to carry the day-to-day.
But Michael's the one that started modernizing it a little bit. And I'll say this about Michael. I mean, I talk all the time about fans, and I'm one of them, where they just take away all this stuff, but they're operating on the side of increasing their wealth and things to that effect, like a business should do. Now, because I've been around so long and they're taking stuff away from me, I'm kind of like, old man yelling at the crowd. But he's doing the right thing for the business, if you want to look at it that way, which is also disappointing because not supposed to go that way. But we got Diamondbacks to talk, gentlemen. Let's take our break. Come on back. We got to talk this Tories teams not being prepared on July 20th, Coop.
Okay.
My guy does not like him some Torey Lovello.
Unbelievable. Come on back, folks. Main event. We were talking about it earlier. Reports are now Cam Newton being laid off at ESPN as well. Never was a Cam Newton fan in terms of what he does on ESPN, but God, I love the way he
Well,
dressed.
you said as well. Who else has been?
Carl Ravitch.
That's a long time name.
He's
been there forever.
93 was when he went there, but he just called the Monday night game. He did the home run derby on radio. Called the ESPN Monday night game, Phillies Dodgers. Just called that as well. Tom Pelissero, but that one kind of makes sense because the NFL Network ESPN merger. Somebody has to go because Ian Rappaport and Schefter are staying. So he's kind of got wrapped up into that. And you know this as well as I do on layoffs. It comes down to money. If you're overpaid compared to other guys.
I forgot about that. They're morphing the two, the NFL Network and ESPN. So they had some talent, on-air talent coming from there over here.
Yeah.
So, but to let go of Carl Ravitch. I mean, Ravitch wasn't just an NFL guy. I mean, he was a guy that could step in and do.
Well, he was their baseball voice. He became their baseball voice, but he could step in and do anything,
right.
And stuff like that. It is amazing. But I did see that here as well. But
you said since '93.
'93 was when Carl Ravitch was there. Yeah, I just literally listened to him on that Monday night game, last night's Phillies Dodgers game, and then I was listening to him on the radio for the home run derby for that first part of it.
Trying to do some ciphering in my head. That's 33 years.
A long time.
Wow.
61 years old.
Yeah.
And gone. So we're seeing those reports out there as well. So from that perspective, Ryan Clark yesterday they pulled him off in the middle of a segment on NFL Live.
They got rid of Ryan Clark.
Wow.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Hey, let me tell you something. And this is the thing that I really appreciate about Ryan. I mean, he's very opinionated, and
for sure.
and he's not afraid to step on any issue. I mean, look, I know that Charles Barkley can be opinionated, and so it's been said, and that Charles is given a rope like none
Right.
other. But look, I whether I agreed with Ryan Clark or not, I appreciate the fact that he was not afraid to give his opinion and then give a rat's behind any heat that he got behind his opinion.
So that's actually I just ripped him all beginning of the show because that's actually what I hate about him the most.
well, again,
because I'm not tuning into an NFL Network site. I'm tuning in to listen to experts talk about NFL football, not the nonsense he brings into it from outside of the football world. That drives me nuts. But I'm there for a different reason.
Yeah, but the other thing that Ryan Clark would also say things I think to be controversial.
He could.
But he believes them. He believes them.
Well, number two, yesterday he's talking about Tom Brady's not what wasn't a generational talent.
Who said that?
Ryan Clark.
Yeah. Because they asked if Arch Manning was a generational talent, and he starts naming all these quarterbacks that aren't a generational, including Tom Brady.
Yeah. So it's like, are you?
I mean, that's just foolish there.
Right. Or you're saying it because you want to stir some things up in conversation. But anyway, it's fascinating how they make their decisions because Pat McAfee's making a ton of dough. But I've also read where his show is the biggest grossing show on ESPN.
Yeah, it's not close.
And hey, if you're bringing in $50 million, I can pay you $10 million.
You guys know that as well as it. Especially you, Coop. It's you guys know that. We've all been around radio long enough. You can be really good at what you do, but if the revenue doesn't come in behind you, you're not there any longer.
Coop, it's curious. I'm sure Channel 12 had layoffs through your tenure.
They did.
Were you ever rumored to maybe have to go look somewhere else, or were you always safe?
If I was, it never hit my ears.
Really? Okay. Okay.
It never hit my ears if I did. But
well, a lot of times you don't know ahead of time either. For sometimes you find out, but a lot of times you do not. But I don't know. It's just fascinating how they're doing that. And the other thing that's fascinating to me is Diamondbacks lose to the Athletics last night. But I want to talk about this because I got two local geniuses here with me, and this stuff drives me nuts. So I want you guys to talk me off of this ledge. So you watched the Cardinals series Friday night. They get back from the All-Star break. Barossa gets thrown out as a pinch runner on first.
Sure.
They're in the ninth. Seawald gets left in there, gives up the runs, and everything. And then Ketel Marte's at the plate. 2 challenges. Ball questionable. Doesn't even look to challenge after the game. Ketel Marte goes in front of the media and goes, I just was confused by the pitch. And, every excuse in the book. So I was like, all right, Cattell just wasn't in the. We all know Cattell gets out of the moment from time to time. That's what happened. It's frustrating as all heck. That shouldn't happen, but it's what Cattell does. I moved on from it, and then last night happens.
Well, you forgot they won the next two games against.
Yeah, well, it doesn't fit his point.
No.
Coop.
Yeah, no, that's not the point. Coop.
Yeah.
Okay.
My point is Friday disaster, ninth inning on top of that and everything. Then last night happens. Did you watch the game last night, Coop?
I most certainly did.
The first challenge I get, the batter, I forget who it was off the top of my head here. I'll find it in a second. Looks at the dugout. They don't honor the challenge at that point. Right? That was Vargas.
That was, yeah.
Vargas.
Vargas.
So they don't honor. I understand that. The batter messed up. That happens in the game.
But I'm going to tell you something. The problem that I had in that game, if you want to get into challenges.
Okay.
You had Gabriel Martinez. Gabriel Moreno was at the plate.
Mm-hmm.
3 balls, 2 strikes on him. You had Perdomo at first base. Perdomo steals second, and you're going to run on a 3-2 pitch anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And the catcher, Hildebrand, he threw it into center field, and so Perdomo gets up and make it to third.
Mm-hmm.
And so the umpire called it a ball 4. So you should have runners at first and third now.
Yes.
But they allowed the catcher to challenge, and it was a strike 3.
Yes.
Look, you only get, they say that 2-second rule.
Yes.
The dude already threw the ball into center field.
Yes.
The guy who got up, Perdomo got up and went to third. He should have denied the catcher that opportunity. Now I'm going to have runners at first and third
100%.
and 1 out instead of a runner at third and 2 out.
Umpires have the discretion. So I agree with that.
So
but
if you want to get into challenges, I got
well, no, we can do that even. We can talk that one, but that's not on the Diamondback side. That's on an umpire letting somebody challenge after a play happens instead of before, right? But then you have Ryan Waldschmidt up at the bat in the ninth, and he doesn't challenge at that point. This is all my point.
But that's not on the manager. The manager can't make the call. Only the way I understand it, only the batter, catcher, or pitcher.
Well, that's why the Vargas one wasn't allowed, because he looked at the dugout, and then that's perceived as you're looking at the dugout open. Yeah.
Again, but that's on that's on the hitter.
So let's listen to Tori here on what happened last night. Keep in mind the Marte non-challenge on that.
Okay.
What I'm arguing here, Coop, I'll just give you a preview. These players don't know when to challenge and not when to challenge in the ninth inning. And we're in July 20th, and players are making these mistakes in 2 games in less than a week. And then Tori goes to the podium.
Okay, hit play, and then I'll give you my
Tori goes to the podium to talk about it. Here he is discussing the non-allowed challenge, the non-challenge there in the ninth. Here he is.
It was in the gray area of him looking up into the dugout. I think the umpires, and we knew this. The umpires
this is the Vargas
instructed
one.
If there's any connection to the dugout, it's an immediate, elimination of him being able to challenge. So it's supposed to be done with intent, immediately following the call, and there was a little bit of a pause with the glance into the dugout, and that's why he couldn't do it.
And then on Ryan Waldschmidt's last at bat, I think that first pitch, I think, was first or second pitch, a couple inches off the plate, and he didn't challenge when he still had 1 left.
We did. We got to be better at it. I know our percentage is at or near the top in the league, but there are some very critical moments where we have not challenged, and it's an instinctual play, and I think the hitters are still getting used to it, to be honest with you. I think Marte, I think he made the comment that he just lost focus, like a little bit of a brain cramp, that type of thing, when the other day, and that happens. We're still getting used to it, but we could be better at it, and we're going to continue to work at it.
It's July 20th, and we're still getting used to it, Coop.
Well,
Dale.
But Steve,
July 20th. We're still getting used to this.
Here's the deal. We already know that only the batter, the pitcher, and the catcher can challenge. If the batter is not smart enough, or are focused enough, I shouldn't say smart enough, focused enough.
Yes, they're not in the moment.
To make, I'm not putting that on Tori. When I played ball, and again, I'm not trying to say I was a professional. I wasn't. I know Dale Hellestrae was, but I think it's all relative. Dude, I consider myself a student of the game. I got in my head in the game. I don't need to look at a coach to say should I or should I. Look, I know the rules. Vargas is what he's a
The Vargas one, I'm not
he-
attacking.
He's like a 13-year
Yeah.
veteran.
The Vargas one, I'm
He
not
already knows the
attacking.
rules. Don't look
Yeah,
in there, dude.
I know.
Don't.
I
And
don't
so
disagree.
if there's an issue, and look, I'm all about saving at least one challenge for the ninth inning.
Yeah, but they're not using them.
And I think the people who utilize it the best that I've seen on the Diamondbacks are Gabby Moreno and Geraldo Perdomo. Those are the two that I have seen that strategically.
But shouldn't
and
the rule
utilize
be?
to the best. But
Should the
if
rule be in the ninth inning if you have a challenge yet and you're down in a game and you have people on and you get struck out or whatever, or the inning's over, you challenge it even if it's straight down the middle.
Why am I putting that on Torrey?
Okay, well that's
when we already know the manager can't do it. You can't, as a player, as a batter, you can't look into the dugout for that.
So I brought this
up. It has
up.
to be on the player.
So I brought this up to Dale on the coaching side. Big moment in games. Coaches reiterate stuff to you.
Yeah, and here's all I would say. And again, I'm not in that dugout. I don't know what goes on. But I'm telling you what, if I'm Torrey, bottom of the ninth, all right, I'm telling our guys, I'm looking up. I know, I've got it written down. We really got one or two challenges left. I'm going to remind them, just like the 2-minute drill. Yes, we work on it every Thursday, but still it's going to be reiterated to the team. Get out of bounds with the ball, and if we don't get out of bounds, you got to get up on the ball. That's all it said, just to reiterate one more time.
Well, here's the deal.
That's all I'm saying.
And here's the deal. They have other coaches in that dugout, like Jeff Bannister and Dave McKay. Now, this is what I heard post game from Sunday when they rallied from 7 down. Those two coaches rallied the team, got them together, and gave them a little pep talk. And Perdomo said that ignited them. So my point is, if it's the ninth inning, I got three veteran coaches there: McKay, Bannister, and Lovello. And if none of them are saying, "Hey guys, we got one challenge left," then okay, maybe that's that. But we don't know that.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
But I'm saying this much. I don't need my coach to tell me that. I already know how many timeouts I have left in the game.
You would think.
I already know what the down and distance, what I'm down. Dale, these are professionals.
Hey.
And so Ryan Walschmidt, I just think he's a rookie. He's just not.
No, tell Marte is not.
No, he's not. I'm not making any excuses for him.
Yeah.
But the last out of the game was Walschmidt. Now, Oakland successfully, I said Oakland. Well, the A's successfully challenged a ball 4 and was actually strike 3, games over.
Yeah.
But the pitch before, I think the first pitch in that at bat, it was a ball that was inside and they called a strike.
Yeah.
That's where Walschmidt can make that. But
that's all I'm saying though is we don't know if they did tell the players when they had a brain fart or whatever. My problem is, by the way, Bob Nightingale has more insight on his newsletter this week. If you don't subscribe to that, you should. On that Sunday conversation that you were talking about, I was going to tell you, Bob Nightingale, look at his newsletter, folks. It's fascinating what he's got. But that's my point here. It's July 20th, ninth inning issues here on July 20th, and Torrey's like, oh, we got to get better at this. Oh, we're still getting used to it. You're not getting used to it. Whether you're not telling the players just to reiterate it to them in the heat of the moment, people get foggy in the heat of the moment. There's obviously something going on here. They could have told them, and the players did mess up. Maybe they didn't reiterate it to them, and the players still messed up. Maybe something like that. That's all I'm saying. It's July 20th, and it's the standard.
Coop.
It's the standard thing going on. We got to get better.
Okay, so both of you guys. I've played the game for a long time, and I've coached the game for a long time.
Which were you better at?
Maybe coaching. Well, I only won 2 championships coaching. But here's what I was going to tell you. Here's what's interesting, because I was a guy who was aware of the situation, whether it was basketball, whether it was football. I was aware. But the guy next to me might not be. He's a hell of a right guard, but he's not mentally aware. And so all I'm going to say is, like, when I coach, and I'm talking about high school, not in the professional level, you have to go over just about everything. You have to reiterate things because people, especially in the heat of the moment, will forget. That's why I'm wondering, bottom of the ninth, you have a challenge or 2 challenges left, and you're standing right there as a manager. each one of those guys are going either to home plate or to on deck. Hey, remember we got a challenge. Remember we got a challenge if we need it. Whether that helps or not, I don't know. And maybe it's being done. And we're man, Steve's making a big deal out of nothing.
No, that's the unknown question that we don't have the answer to.
My point is this.
It's July 20th.
Well, my point is this, and I see I'm going to disagree with Steve.
July 20th.
I got 3 veteran coaches. I mean, guys that have over 20, 30 years of coaching experience. Jeff Bannister, Dave McKay, and then there's Torey Lovello. And if they aren't reiterating this or something like that, then that could
Who's
be
the hitting coach? Bannister?
Bannister's the bench coach.
He's bench coach.
Who's the hitting coach?
I don't know. Guy, it's some guy you've never heard of.
No, I've heard him.
No, I'm talking about normal people. I haven't heard of him.
But
here's my problem.
It doesn't matter. But one of those guys, Torey should give if Torey's got his mind going every which way, then you give that one. You have the get back coach in football.
That's where the bench coach.
So you give it to McKay and say, McKay, you tell everybody.
Well, but I gotta believe that they are. But even if they aren't, that's why I have a problem, Dale. I have a problem with the player.
Yeah,
I have a problem with the player.
I'm not saying the players aren't messing up, but I'm saying this is indicative. Here's my bigger problem. And by the way, this is why NFL head coaches who call plays constantly on their play sheet, they have what to do with under 2 minutes to go.
Sure.
Timeout here, no timeout in this time frame. You know why they put that on that sheet? It's because they've been calling plays for hundreds of years. But because in the heat of that moment, they can get distracted or forget or make a blunder, so they have it on the sheet. At 1:15, we call a timeout if this is happening. There's a reason you have those reiterations. But my problem is this. It happened on Friday night. Now it's happened last night.
Well,
so Friday night, okay, maybe it was just a blip. Ketel Marte got foggy, whatever. Then don't you put in the procedures at that point to where it shouldn't happen again 3 nights later? That's my point here. You're not fixing the error from Friday night last night.
Well, see, in between Friday and Monday, you had this comeback from 7 down. So that was get this, their major league leading 30th comeback win.
Yeah.
So something's happening late that's positive for the team.
Mm-hmm.
And again, all I want to say on the challenges deal, I put that 100% on the player. I do. I put it 100% on the player because I already know, and I think most fans know, there's only 3 people who can challenge a call.
Yeah, pitcher, catcher, batter. But
I'm not saying the players aren't at fault. I'm saying this happened Friday,
Torey Lovello's name
and it happened last night, and it wasn't fixed.
Well, now we're talking 2 different players. See, I don't know what.
But you talk to everybody. Hey guys, in the ninth inning, when you're up to bat, you're the last batter, and the last ball's a strike. You can challenge it.
Why doesn't it ever happen to Gabby Moreno or Geraldo Perdomo?
Well, you're proving my point even farther.
So okay. So
you have to remind certain players. Some players you don't. Some players you have to remind.
No. There are some players who have a better focus.
100%.
And a better mentality.
100%.
I could tell somebody, hey, hold on to the ball.
Well,
and
Chris Webber in that Michigan game was told we have 0 timeouts when he left that thing. And what did he do? He called timeout.
So again, for Wall
that's what I'm saying. It's the heat of the moment to where it happens.
I'll excuse Waldschmidt in this case because he's a rookie. I'm not excusing Ketel Marte.
That's just all my conversation. It just then Torey saying.
Then to listen to his post game stuff. I mean, come on, dude.
July 21st.
Just excuses.
We got to get better. And he's got to say that to media. He's got to protect his player. But I'm just tired of hearing we're going to get better. Are you?
Yeah, they are.
Are you? Well, they didn't from Friday to last night on the same error.
Well, here, and I don't know if this is a Mike Hazen issue. See, I'm switching.
I was going to say, now you're going to the GM?
No, I'm flipping deal. They have this pitcher named Jose Cabrera. Who, I mean, I heard the guy has like 7 different pitches.
Yeah.
He's
got movement.
So his last start before they moved him down before the All-Star break, he's only given up 1 run. He's in the 5th inning, but he makes rookie mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
There was a comebacker to him with a runner at second base and 1 out. it came back to him. And instead of taking the out at first, because the runner was going back to second, he threw to second. The runner's safe at second. Now you got first and second and one out. So then his next pitch, he balks. So runners are at second and third. So now the infield comes in and he gives up a little bleeder, and now 2 runs scored. But this guy has been impressive. And so they're throwing Mitch Bratt again last night. And he threw him the week before. Bratt doesn't even come close to having the same kind of stuff that Cabrera has. And his pitch count, he doesn't get past the 3rd inning because he's thrown like 90 pitches, and I'm just exaggerating. He's thrown 90 pitches in 3 innings, but his pitch count. So to me, if I'm a manager or GM, I'm going to play the pitcher that gives me the best chance to win.
I agree.
It's not Bratt.
Yeah, it's a whole nother conversation.
It's Cabrera.
Yeah.
And so now they're throwing tonight Cole Drake. Mm-hmm. Now, Bratt and Drake are 2 players they got in the Merrill Kelly trade a year ago to the Texas Rangers. Now, I don't know what kind of stuff Cole Drake has, but I've seen enough of Matt Bratt to know that, hey, my eye test tells me that should be Cabrera. And it's not. And so, again, if you want to talk about giving your team the best chance to win, dude, it's also a personnel decision. You know, you got to have the right people up here too.
Right.
So
that's a whole nother conversation.
Like I said, I don't know if that's a Mike Hazen deal or not.
That's a Hazen deal.
But here's the deal. That's a mistake. That's a mistake.
Yeah, I don't disagree. It's an infuriating mistake, but they keep doing it, which is kind of what infuriates me. It's July 21st. We're still getting used to the challenging.
We still haven't gotten past the trading deadline.
Well,
Monday,
August
3rd.
I don't look.
Are they buying?
This, he says he is.
Throw up the NL wild card really quick while Bruce is talking.
And look, and the Diamondbacks are still only a half game out because everyone that they're chasing lost last night as well. Yeah. Right. There's a chance for them to be in the playoffs right now, in that place where the position where the Cardinals are, the 3rd wild card team. But I'm just saying this: the Diamondbacks, they continue to do this, and Ketel Marte is beginning to drive me crazy. So is Corbin Carroll. I mean, they don't work a pitcher in a count like a Perdomo or a Moreno. You know, they're up there swinging early.
First pitch.
And and they get in a hole, and then the book now on Corbin Carroll is you throw him high and he strikes out.
Yeah.
Ketel Marte is just, I mean, he's reaching and flailing at pitches. Dude, why?
He looks lost at times.
And so the Diamondbacks are not getting the type of production at the plate from their all-stars that they need to be. And that's why they are struggling so offensively. Their all-stars aren't playing. And to see Perdomo struggle so much like he does, now he's coming back to Perdomo. He is actually working. I mean, 10, 11, 12 pitches, if he doesn't get a hit, it's a walk. Gabby the same way. Come on, dude. I can't, and it's driving me crazy. I know who their hitting coach is, but his name.
I know. I can't remember. I can picture him right now. But I can't think of it. But it's not a name that a normal fan will just pull up top of his head.
You want to talk about repetitive or remind people? That's who these hitters need to be reminded of this fact.
Well, they were really good at that the last couple of years of working pitchers. Yeah, and what was that? When they went against Paul Skeens, they swung at every first pitch, and the guy threw like 20 pitches through 7 innings. I know I'm exaggerating, because they just went after that side. One thing I want to do before we take off, that's a Diamondback, issue. It's just, like I said, mistakes happen. I get it, and you can criticize it all you want. But Friday and last night, same late game error. It's concerning to me.
Joe Mather.
Mather. That's exactly who it is. Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
We got to give props. Nolan,
and he's a veteran.
Nolan Arenado last night, 6th player in MLB history with 2,000 hits, 350-plus home runs, 10-plus Gold Gloves.
6th player?
6th player. I was just going to ask you. Without looking.
There's more than 6 players who have. There's guys who've hit.
No. 2,000 hits, 350 home runs, 10-plus Gold Gloves.
Oh, Dale said active.
No, because Ken Griffey Jr. is on this list.
No,
2,000 hits, 350 home runs, and 10 Gold Gloves is this list. I listened to them all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Name them all. I told you Ken Griffey Jr. Name the other ones.
They said there's how many? 6?
Well, he's the 6th, so there's 5 others.
Okay, so you already.
Ken Griffey Jr.
Good one.
I want to say Mike Schmidt.
Yes, he's one of them.
Because you got to think of guys who are great defensive players.
You'll know two other ones. The fifth one, I'm not sure you're gonna know.
I'm not sure what his glove was like.
What about Brooks Robinson?
I'm gonna say Freddie Freeman.
Nope. Nobody active.
Oh,
Nobody active.
Nope. These guys are all old guys.
Okay.
The guys you left are old guys.
George Brett.
No, actually no. Yeah, I'll just tell you, Willie Mays Hayes.
Wait, no, you're giving us away. No,
I'm giving it away. All right, I'll give you that one because that one's easy.
All right, so
I'm giving you a hint here. Willie Mays, so you got to think of another old timer guy, and one you're not going to get. There's two more guys.
Oh, it's two more guys. So it must be an outfielder.
No, not at all.
Oh, I've already said Mike Schmidt.
You sit on one of these.
350 home runs.
Yeah, this is the shocker to me.
Okay, I'm going to say.
You sit on a sofa or a chair.
Okay, I'm going to say.
When you get.
Was he a first baseman?
No.
Oh, rats.
No, you sit on this, Dale. When you get pulled from a game, you go and do what?
Oh, Johnny Bench.
Johnny Bench.
Yeah.
Johnny Bench. No,
that one surprised me. I didn't realize he was quite. I knew he was a good hitter. I didn't know he was that level. The other guy that's on that list is Al Kaline.
Al Kaline.
I've never heard of him.
Oh, I
he was with the Detroit Tigers.
You old timers would know that one.
Yeah, no kidding.
But he joined that level of guys last night.
Only 6 have had. Say that again.
2,000 hits, 350 plus home runs, and 10 plus Gold Gloves.
That gun.
Yeah, for that level. Yeah, the 2,000 hits, a lot of guys have done that and stuff. But and he's the first Diamondback since who to get his 2,000 hit. Now, I always laugh at those stats because he obviously had a lot of those hits in Colorado, before he went to the Cardinals.
There's another Diamondback that has career hit number 2,000?
2,000, yep, with the Diamondbacks.
Well, the longest guy has been Gonzo.
Yep, it was Gonzo in 2004. I got it that year as well. Yep. Luis Gonzalez, 2004.
I didn't get any of those right.
Sixth active player with just 2,000 hits. Name those guys really quick.
6 active? Well,
yes. You named one of them earlier. I'll give you that. Freddie Freeman.
Okay, Freddie Freeman.
So you have named 5 guys with 2,000 active.
Active right now.
Yep.
Oh, son of a gun. All right, so there's Freddie Freeman's active. Geez.
Dale's like, I don't even know who's playing right now.
You got to think old guy. Okay.
They've been around for a long time if they have 2,000 hits. Yeah.
I think Jose Altuve.
Yes, he's one of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so that's 2. So that's
a good pull right there.
How many more we got?
Yeah, you need 3 more.
Dadgum.
See, Jose Altuve, I thought would be the struggle, to be honest with you. Another guy might be a struggle because he played on a team that's not very good, so he kind of got buried. Yeah.
6 active.
Yeah. You need 3 more.
Oh, my gosh. Let's see here. I need another old guy. Oh, I know. He played with the Orioles. Manny Machado.
Yeah, Manny Machado. Yeah.
Manny Machado.
But even though he's sucking this year, so you got 2 more.
He's with the Padres now.
Yeah, you got 2 more.
2 more.
One of them plays for the Yankees. I'll just give you that hint.
One of them is playing for the Yankees?
He's playing for the Yankees right now, and everybody wanted him in Arizona.
Goldie?
Goldie.
No freaking way. Goldie has 2,000 hits.
2,000 hits.
Oh, I wouldn't have got that.
Then the last one, like I said, he played on a really bad team for a lot of years, so he kind of got buried. But a great player in this era, but just got buried because he played for a terrible
bad team.
In the Midwest.
In the Midwest. Chicago Cubs?
No. Well, did he? He might have gone to the Cubs, but he was known more.
Indians?
He was known more for another team.
Midwest.
The Royals?
Nope.
Midwest.
Okay.
They're over the sea. They're out in the sea there. I watched them play. I watched them in the Odyssey this weekend. Dale, come on.
What the heck? Who watches the Odyssey?
Nah.
Gosh darn it. All right, wait. Give us a team. Give us a team.
Well, he's he's currently with Texas. I just looked it up.
Texas Rangers.
Just to tell you where he's at. Yes. Played for the Braves for a little bit, as well.
Dang. Hold on.
Played for the Brewers, played for the Phillies. I'm not giving you his main team because it'll be obvious then, I think. But he was with the Pirates.
Wow. So this guy's currently with the Texas Rangers.
Yes. Look at Coop's knowledge here.
Dang.
Do.
Hold on. Currently with the Texas
All right.
Think
Enough.
Pittsburgh back in the day. I know we're gonna sit here all day.
Wait a second. Give me-
So, Dale, how was your vacation? Fill us in on that really quick here as we talk. I'm gonna give it to you in 5 seconds.
And he's oh, I know. Andrew McCutcheon.
Andrew McCutcheon.
Is that right?
Go ahead.
Well, when he said the Pirates, and now that was the key that got me.
Well, that's why I didn't want to give you the Pirates because to me, when I think Pirates, I think Andrew McCutcheon. Yeah,
No
obviously I think Skeens now, but in terms of hitting guys and stuff like that, I think of McCutcheon. So to me, if you would have said Pirates to me, I would have been like, get McCutcheon.
Yeah.
But Goldie's on that list too. That kind of surprised me as well.
I thought Goldie had Goldie. Where did he get career number 2,000?
It must have been in St. Louis is what I'm going to guess.
Jeez.
Because I would have heard about it. Yankee. I watch a lot of Yankees. I think I would have heard about it then. But come on, Dale, you didn't know any of those?
All right, it's overtime. I don't think it's overtime.
We'll see you tomorrow, everybody. Bruce Cooper, as always, thanks for joining us, man. Always fun with you. And Dale, yeah, standard show.
Whatever.
You put effort in.
Yeah.
See you tomorrow, everybody.